The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Pat McAfee Show. I'm obviously not Pat McAfee. This is AJ Hawk coming to you here on Mad Dog Sports Radio Channel 82. Myself, the boys, Pat is in some exotic location. We don't know exactly where that is, but you know what? There has been some absolutely blockbuster news that has just come in, just hit the wire. Man, sir, I'm not sure if we have Pat yet, but I know he will be joining us from wherever location he is. But I think most people should know this by now. Carson Wentz, he's being traded right here to the Indianapolis Colts, the city that I drove to this morning. Woo! So Pat's he's been dreaming this. He's been fantasizing about this for so long. So I think we got Pat that up. Pat, what do you think, man? Your guy is coming. Unfortunately, you're out of town. You missed it, but he is here. He is coming to Indy to save the day. How do you feel?
Well, Carson Wentz and AJ Hawk are in Indianapolis at the same damn time. That's a crazy time to be alive. I appreciate what you're doing for the show today. You look fantastic behind the desk. Don't ruin anything I got on there. It is in pristine order there, my friend. Now,
okay,
Carson Wentz, okay? When you dive deep into the annals of things that have come out of my mouth, Carson Wentz to the Indianapolis Colts was never something that I talked positively about. Ever, okay? It was on the wall, basically, no matter where you looked in Indy, that Carson Wentz was probably going to end up in Indianapolis Colt. Last year, while the year was unfolding after Jalen Hurts gets drafted in the second round, Carson Wentz's, feelings get hurt. He gets on a football field, completely forgets how to play football, made people think, like, is this guy going to retire? Then you start hearing rumors come out there. No, Carson Wentz isn't going to retire. Phil Rivers might, though, after this year. So then you start putting the pieces together. You're like, oh, no. Phil Rivers sails off into the sunset. The easy choice here with a relationship that they say is beyond repair with the Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. It seems like his ass is probably bringing his 12-gauge shotgun right out to Indianapolis to shoot some dust. This was something that was – it's very breezy down. It's a cold chill down here, guys. It's a cold chill down here, okay? But this is something that everybody had been talking about for a long time. And for me, with the way Chris Ballard has manipulated the salary cap in such brilliant fashion for all these years, where he had patience, where he said, I want to build my culture first. He said, Pat, we want to build a culture. He had $100 and some million a couple years ago, chose not to spend any of it. You bring in Quentin Nelson, you bring in Darius Leonard, you have a young core that's going to build a culture in there. He said that's what he wanted to do first. And the team just so happened to get incredible at football. The offensive line mauls people. The defense flies around. The only missing piece for the 2021 Colts team looked to be a quarterback. And if with the way the money was set up for the Colts, if we could spend some money and get, I don't know, Matthew Stafford, I was like, that sounds nice. Hey, Kenny, that sounds nice, Matthew Stafford. That guy's been dead in Detroit for 12 years. He's an absolute baller. He has never been mentally broke. He's never had a bad season. It didn't matter who got drafted, how the franchise was run. Let's get him down here. Well, he goes to Los Angeles for 65 first-round picks, and they move on. All right, so what else is available? Well, Russell Wilson's team doesn't like the way the Seattle Seahawks have been dealing with Russell Wilson. Maybe we get Russell Wilson in Indianapolis. Hey, go Hawks can go Colts. This guy hates Seattle. Come to Indy. You'll love it here, pal. A lot of God. A lot of good time. Let's get Russell Wilson. Then you hear Deshaun Watson's potentially on it. Let's get his ass in the division. Going to be impossible. So Carson Wentz was never my first, I want that guy, okay? Because there was a lot of other quarterbacks on the market that I thought, hey, you drop them on this Colts team, we going to win the goddamn Super Bowl. But now that we're here, Russell Wilson isn't on the move. Aaron Rodgers isn't on the move. Deshaun Watson, who knows what's going to happen with that? They're saying he's not on the move. Getting Carson Wentz for a third-round draft pick, This is brilliant by Chris Ballard. Everything I said sounds terrible, especially if he comes out and learns how to play football again. But I like that it's only for a third-round pick, conditional first with a second next year. If he plays over 75% of the snaps, that goes from a second to a first next year. If he only plays 70% and they make the playoffs, that goes from a second to a first. But a third round and a second with his contract, that is massive. But Chris Ballard has handled the cap so well. This is a win, obviously, but it wasn't my first choice, and I don't think it was anybody's.
Yeah. So do you think, though, this was the best offer that Carson Wentz had, obviously, or Philly had for his services?
Yeah, it feels like everything that they were saying was a bunch of bullshit, doesn't it, AJ?
Yes.
It seems like they're like, well, there's a lot of teams interested. We're going to be trading them in the next couple of days. They said that last week. Then they said that the end of last week. Then they said it at the beginning of this week. And here we are. I'm on a goddamn beach. They finally do make the deal happen. But it sounds like the Bears, they would have had to have offered something better than a third rounder and then a second rounder next year. That's next to nothing. Everybody realized that they had the Philadelphia Eagles by the cojones. Okay, you have a massive contract, a terrible situation, a quarterback that could be broken. Could be broken. We're not 100% sure. Hope everybody's all right back there. I just heard something pop. Could be broken. And they wanted to move on. As soon as they hired Jalen Hurts' friend to be the quarterback coach, everybody knows they want to move on. So all that BS about having good offers and everybody's interested, that was all bullshit. But now we know Chris Ballard was making a play. The Colts, Philadelphia Eagles conversations probably have been happening for a while here. Chris Ballard never blinks, and I'm only giving you this in this because I'm getting that big contract and a player that we're not 100% certain whether or not he's the player he was a couple years ago. It does feel like that was a bunch of bullshit, though, AJ. It feels like Chris Ballard never blinked, though, just stared right down the barrel of the gun, didn't call bluff one time.
Yeah, but what if you were on the Indianapolis Colts right now currently? Would you, how would you feel about the fact that, hey, this is we didn't have to give up a whole lot, but Carson Wentz is our guy. We're resting everything on him. We kind of have the pieces around him already.
DeForest Buckner told us, last week or 2 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. He said he loves him. He said, hey, if he wants to come in here and work and be everything, that's what we want. He was an MVP player just a couple of years ago. So DeForest Buckner, I think the boys know what's going on. They obviously know the conversations and the storylines that are happening outside the locker room. And I think that locker room, especially I think DeForest Buckner got baptized with Frank Reich. Did he not?
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
He got baptized with Frank Reich in the same pool. They were running around the same pool together getting baptized. And he said he had that moment and experience with Frank Reich. And I assume that's similar to what Carson and Frank Reich had. And he said he would love him. Frank would be able to fix him. I'll be excited to see if that's the case, if Frank Reich has that ability or that power. And if he does, more power to him, because the Colts do become an instant contender in the AFC. Now, obviously, the Chiefs are going to be great. Steelers might not even have a quarterback by the time this conversation ends. But the AFC is going to be difficult no matter what for the next 10 years. I think everybody understands that. Carson Wentz, if he can learn how to play football again, it's good. But there was other guys that we know how to play football still that were available when I was making the remarks that I was making, so I would like people to not attack me for them as much.
Yeah, okay. So how long does Carson Wentz have to figure it out? To figure out how to play football again, as you like to say?
Did you watch him play football this past season, AJ?
Yes, I have watched. I'm just wondering, though, how long is his leash?
Why'd you say, as I like to say, that he forgot how to play fucking football?
Because this is the Pat McAfee show. You've been talking about him. I'm sitting at your desk, so I'm trying to bring you into the conversation.
Yeah, but you were acting like you didn't say that, though. Everybody said that.
I've always said great things about him. I think he's going to be amazing.
Come on.
AJ, the guy couldn't complete a 2-yard pass. Okay, listen, I only have one completion in the NFL, rolling out against the Steelers, safety over the top, absolutely dropped it into a keyhole. Okay, that's not. But whenever you're talking about the throws he was missing and the decisions he was making, good bat, by the way. Last year, you would think to yourself, if you had any, a little bit of football knowledge, you'd be like, this guy forgot how to play football all of a sudden. Good glasses, by the way, you're doing great. But whenever you talk about Phil Rivers when he came over to the Indianapolis Colts, which we learned from Jim Irsay said, Tom was interested or whatever, but Frank said he wanted Phil. It's Jim Irsay before this Carson Wentz decision was made. Jim Irsay's on record saying, Frank Reich said we should have Phil Rivers. All right? So I think that was setting the table almost for, just so we all understand here, like this is how this went. Now, Phil Rivers took a look. They lost to the Jaguars, okay? And Joe Dirt picked off Phil Rivers in the first game to fucking seal that thing. So I think it might take a little bit. I don't know how OTAs are going to be this year. It might be a little bit different than the COVID protocol OTAs last year, but I think it might take a little bit of time or whatever, but maybe you'll be able to figure it out. And if not, I assume the 70% playing time is Chris Ballard with the potential second rounder going to a first rounder next year. That's Chris Ballard saying, I'm not even 100% sure we're going to play this guy. So I'm intrigued to see how it all plays out. I hope he figures it out there because that Colts team could be great.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of it depends on Carson Wentz. But I got here a little bit before this news broke. I got here to the studio. Absolute rejoicing from all the boys here, by the way, when we saw the news on the TV, when we saw it break that Carson Wentz is coming to the Colts. But one of your guys, we know Boston Connor had an exceptionally excited argument, or I guess you'd say celebration, and he said he cannot wait. He's already setting his tree stand up. So, Connor, how do you feel about this?
I mean, I am through the roof about it. Obviously, if anyone can fix Carson, it's Frank Wright. But, Pat, have you started to look for 12 gauges to buy for Carson when he comes out here to hunt?
Hey, listen, I see you got the camo on. You were wearing that for 2 weeks, too.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm happy it came for you. It came together for you, pal.
Yeah.
Oh, Camo Connor, one of my favorites for sure, especially with that mustache. It's really coming together beautifully. 12 gauges, I think that is a good gift. You know, like when somebody comes to the community, you bring them like a loaf of bread or something. I've never done that thing to my neighbors, but it's in the movies or whatever. You take them like a cake or something. I think Carson Wentz moves to town. Everybody in Indy understands that you show up with AKs, ARs, shotguns, and maybe even a deer stand or two. And let's go ahead and try to win the Super Bowl here, pal. And let's remember how to play football again, like you did a couple years ago when you were playing great football. Then that season ended with another guy getting the Super Bowl MVP and a statue outside of it. Let's go ahead and finish the deal this time here. For the shoe, pal. For the shoe.
Hey, but what about Philly? Are they telling us that, hey, Jalen Hurts is our guy moving forward?
I don't know, because a lot of people are saying they're going to take quarterback. So, like, do they – because they hired that quarterback coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, and everybody's like, oh, he's not in Jalen since Jalen was a teenager or whatever. I was like, okay. And, you know, none of this, AJ. And by the way, there are miserable olds all around me right now because of what's going on here. You know, moments before we go live on air here, Carson Wentz gets traded, okay? My umbrella here that keeps me from turning into a lobster. The wind is so cold and strong, blew this umbrella up out of earth, hit me in the head, sprinted down the beach. Somebody had to grab it, almost killed somebody. So that was Carson Wentz gets traded to the Colts. I almost get decapitated, and somebody almost dies by getting speared from a runaway umbrella off of my head. Broke my hat.
Oh.
I might have CTE, to be honest with you. I mean, I haven't got it checked out, but it was a full pow there. You know what I mean? Full pow there. Back to the point you were saying about Jalen Hurts, though. None of it makes sense. The Doug Peterson story is that he wanted to move on from Carson Wentz, wanted Jalen Hurts, and then when Jalen Hurts was in, he said, get on the bench. We got Sudfeld coming in here, right? So it was Doug Peterson saying anybody but Carson Wentz. And then whenever the stories came out that Doug Peterson and the Philadelphia Eagles mutually agreed to depart or whatever, the story was Doug Peterson wanted Carson, and they didn't want Carson. And then why'd you draft Jalen then? There's just the mixed signals have just been all over the place with who wants what and where. And then whenever you hire the quarterback coach that knows Jalen, it's almost like I don't think anybody has a clue what they want to do over there. And that sounds – I've never been inside that building, okay? I don't know how it all works out. We talked to Shady yesterday a little bit about the Philadelphia situation. He didn't say them. He said, but in his experiences, whenever everybody seems to be on the same page is when an organization does well. Feels like the Philadelphia Eagles have potentially been on maybe in two different fucking books for the last year or so on what's going on, as opposed to even the same pages. I don't think anybody knows what's going on over there, including them.
Yeah, it does. But, okay, so I'm going to move on to Ben Roethlisberger. That's a big story, I think. It feels like, to me, the Steelers are almost – if Ben decides to come out and say, hey, I'm going to retire, I'm done playing football, I think they'd be okay with it. That's what it feels like to me right now.
Yeah, you and I had this chat a little bit before we went live, and with what Colbert said, the GM who's been there for like 20 years. Nick, how many years had Colbert been there? 20 years or so?
Yeah, a long time. About
yeah,
20.
maybe 20.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been there a long time. He's basically like the Steeler way, right? The Steeler way is hire from within. It's like a high school. You know, we talked to Brett Kiesel out there in the middle of his fucking cabin out in the middle of the woods where Carson Wentz probably going to swing by there on his way over to Indy or whatever on the north side of Pittsburgh. He talked about how it's like a family, like a college family atmosphere. Everybody goes there. Colbert's a big reason that is the case. So when his name was up for potentially the Detroit Lions job, I think I was very surprised. I was like, Colbert's leaving the Pittsburgh Steelers. That makes no sense at all. He is the Steelers, basically. You would assume he would retire with the Steelers. So he is a guy that I think Pittsburgh Steelers fans trust. Okay? They trust the organization is going to make the right decision. Now, now you're always going to hear, like Mark Madden's of the world, say what they should do and will do, two different things. But the Steelers have been good for so damn long. It's almost like you just have faith that the Steelers, even if they don't make the perceived right decision, it's going to be the right decision in the long run because they're a successful organization. That's just what the Steelers are. When the season ended, Ben Roethlisberger's crying on the bench right next to Pouncey. He said, hey, this is why I want to come back more for you than for me even. And then the conversation was like, well, will Ben and Pounce retire at the same time? Pounce and Pounce retired at the same time, his twin brother. But Ben Roethlisberger did not announce that. Ben Roethlisberger said, I'll come back if they want me. It was like, a little bit of drama, you know what I mean? If they want me, you know, like Ben Roethlisberger's been around a long time. He's given up a lot of things, you know, no more baloney bopping for the guy. But the thing about it is Ben Roethlisberger might want to come back. And the Steelers, with the way things are sounding, they might not want him to come back, especially at the $40-some million dead cap hit it would take to them, especially with the way their salary cap's set up. Now, the salary cap's going up $5 million instead of down, which is great news for everybody. But they are in cap trouble. They're going to try to renegotiate with him, is what everybody says. But what if they want to move on from him? And if they cut him before they save $15 million off the $19 million dead cap hit, it's an interesting time to be alive. Whenever Roethlisberger says, I would come back if they want me. And then the Steelers, initially the old reports were, hey, we're going to bring him back, even though we brought in a new offensive coordinator, new offensive system. Now it's like, wait, did the Steelers potentially want to kick old Ben Roethlisberger out of town? And that sounds like that might be the case. Retire now, old man. We don't want to have this moment. To your point, I think that is potentially what they're thinking.
So you mentioned that the salary cap in the NFL just recently, a memo came out. It's going to be $180 million at the floor is this year, so it's not going to go lower. We know it's going to at least raise by $5 million from last year to $175. Does that change anything with Ben's contract though? If he says, "Hey, I can restructure, I can find a way to give you guys the help you need"?
Andrew Brandt, Ian Rappaport reported that there's a new floor of $180 million, which means teams, I believe, that's the lowest it'll be for next year, even though I guess it fluctuates a little bit. And I don't know how they figured it out. I'd assume they counted just the $100 billion TV rights they just negotiated or something. I mean, unbelievable. Good for the NFL doing their thing. But I think that amount only being $5 million, I'm not sure that saves anybody that was in deep shit. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're still potentially in deep shit. I guess the Saints are potentially in deep shit. There's a couple other teams that I think have to make some plays that we thought could get pretty big namey if they had to. Now, I guess it won't be as much as a cap casualty situation for some of the big names because it went up as opposed to the thought that it might stay the same or go down. But I still think we're going to see some moves made.
Oh, we're definitely going to see moves made. I think places where you could find some value are these guys that are veterans that do have a big cap number. They still can play, but teams know, like, hey, we all need to change the scenery. We need to get this number off our books. And a guy like that, it sounds like Von Miller could be one of those guys. We're getting reports that they may decline to pick up his $18 million option coming up here, I don't know, in a few weeks, maybe when the league year starts, March 17th, I believe. Like, a guy like him, if they don't pick his new option up, or this option, where does he go? Obviously, it's like anyone else, like J.J. Watt. Oh, hey, he's going to go to, guess what? He wants to go to a good team with a good quarterback that has a chance to win. Well, that is breaking news to me, bud. I cannot imagine that these superstars that have been dominating the NFL want to go play for someone that can win the Super Bowl.
Hey, send me to a place that has I'm not doing it to him. He doesn't deserve it. Send me to a place that has Jordan Love starting at quarterback. You know, ain't nobody saying that. There's nobody at this point. Von Miller, J.J. Watt, What about Ben Roethlisberger? Now, I will get to Von Miller and J.J. Watt, but interesting point that you just talked about there. What if Ben Roethlisberger was tradable, AJ? I want this answer from you. If Ben Roethlisberger was tradable right now, would you rather Ben Roethlisberger or Carson Wentz?
Man, for just one season, for next year?
1 year only. Let's go. 1 year. How you doing? Keep it moving. We got a team already built, okay? We know that you're not going to be able to move your statue. Phil Rivers, same damn way. He's got to make a couple more plays. Would you rather Ben Roethlisberger or Carson Wentz for a 1 year rental?
Right now, I'm still taking Ben.
You need to, AJ, but you're going to take some shit for saying what you just said right there. But let's move on to Von Miller. Von Miller, he seems like the guy that's probably going to end up where? Indianapolis Colts, maybe.
Yeah.
If Justin Houston's a free agent, why not bring Von Miller
On
in?
that
Go ahead and
turf. On that
stack
turf, too,
defense.
coming off the edge, man. Those guys on that turf, you saw Dwight Freeney, Mathis, those guys can turn the corner.
And you got DeForest Buckner eating 2 to 3 guys every single play, so it's not like they can't just shift to go ahead and do what you got to do. And Von Miller's still a good football player. Right? He's hurt. There's been a lot of drama, controversy. Who knows with all that stuff? Hopefully that comes back all clean or whatever. But he's still a great football player, right? There's only a couple Von Millers in the world. That's a guy that everybody would like to have play football for. Look for obviously Tampa, depending upon how much money Von Miller's made, what he's looking to make. I mean, there's going to be Buffalo, I guess, is in the J.J. Watt sweepstakes. I guess that one's very close. And it's like, why not? That makes a lot of sense up there with old McDermott. That guy loves the football, dude. J.J. loves the football. Go from Houston to Buffalo, automatically be in contention in the AFC because that AFC East is potentially dead. And, I just – there's a lot of good – it's a good time to be a free agent and be very good at football, AJ.
Yeah, I saw someone say that Buffalo could be a good option for JJ strictly because, or this an added bonus would be, Buffalo and the Bills Mafia, they do such a good job getting behind people, when they donated money to Andy Dalton's charity, and JJ has been such a guy he's raised so much money that, hey, it's a perfect fit with him in Buffalo. I was like, he can raise money from anywhere. It's the internet. Like he doesn't have to live in the city.
Yeah, I mean, he raised $37 million or whatever, and I assume a lot of those millions didn't come strictly from Houston. I mean, maybe they were, but I think there was billionaires that lived in A.J. Hawk's neighborhood in Ohio that were donating, and I think the Epsteins got involved too, which is also A.J.'s neighbor. They were donating. So I think J.J. Watt is at a level where he's hosted Saturday Night Live, right? He's on Jimmy Fallon. He does all that. I believe has he been on Ellen? Has he been on Ellen?
Probably.
Is Ellen still on the show? Is Ellen still on Ellen?
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
She said sorry.
Jay, listen.
Oh, she did.
Listen, very interesting you said that because I was watching her game show, Games or whatever the hell it was.
It looked really
And
good.
I was like, is this a new episode, And my wife was like, yeah, new episode. And I was like, does she have her daily show too? And my wife was like, yep, still doing new episodes. I'm like, oh, so none of that shit matters then, right? Like,
Nope.
none of that. You know what I mean? Like if you're Ellen, Ellen's like up there. Oprah, Ellen, the amount of money she has made on television, being everybody's friend, is so high. When some things come out backstage, it's like she's still Ellen. All right, let's keep it going. But I did just like you. I thought it was over. I thought it was over for Ellen there, and she's not. She's still crushing out there. But JJ's been on Ellen. What I'm saying is, I think he would love the Buffalo Bills Mafia being on his side. I think any player would. But when it comes to a fundraising effort and $99 at a time, I think he has those friends that potentially do like $99,000 at a time. And I think those people are scattered amongst America, if I had to guess.
Absolutely, Pat. Hey, we're gonna get to our first guest of the day. I didn't get to intro him earlier because the Carson Wentz news was just taking everyone by storm. But hey, joining us now, we have unbelievable wide receiver, 7-year vet, 14 touchdowns this last season. Woo. I think a scratch or better than scratch golfer, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Thielen.
Yeah! What's up?
Adam, what's up? So hey, I'm in Pat's studio today. I don't know if you knew this. Pat is somewhere on a beach doing God knows what. So I'm sitting in for him, but he's joining us because he wants to be with you. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Yeah, even better now being with you guys and seeing Pat on the beach that just made my day.
Well, Adam, the last time I was at a beach, I was with you. We were not on the beach together, but we were down in the Bahamas, golfing, having the time of our lives. The world has changed immensely since then. But I would like to reiterate a point that A.J. Hawk just made. Ty Schmidt, myself, Nick Moraldo, Evan Foxy, while rather intoxicated, watched Adam Thielen hit a 3-wood 375 yards. Isn't that right, Foxy? Is that not how far he hit that?
He drove it over the green on a par 4 with a 3-wood.
with a 3-wood, yeah, with a 3-wood. Adam Thielen is a monster. If he wasn't playing football and buy his way in that regional combine, the son of a bitch would be in the PGA.
I wish. I tell my wife all the time I picked the wrong profession. I love the game of golf, and I've been in the simulator. I got the simulator in the house, so my son and I are down there every single day. So it's been kind of fun. It's been a good off season.
Yeah, speaking of that off season, I guess what do you have any kind of feeling of what this next off season may look like? Like if you're going to be in the facility, like do your coaches reach out, or what do they say? Hey, we don't know. We take it day by day.
Yeah, the coaches are kind of saying they don't really know what's going to happen. I've tried to figure it out other ways, and it sounds like that it's still up for debate. But I'm kind of hoping, honestly, that I can just train, where I spent 6 months last year here at ETS, and being able to take care of myself and my body and train to try to become the best football player I could be. Last year it was the best I've ever felt in my life. So it was nice to have 6 straight months of training with the right person, and that's here at ETS with Ryan.
Who's Ryan?
What's that?
What the hell is ETS and who's Ryan?
So Ryan Engelbert, he is my business partner here at ETS. He started ETS, and I've been training with him since I came out. We're actually opening up ETS Green Bay with John Koo.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So, which we're excited about. March 1st, that opens up. I'm actually heading to Green Bay next week to kind of start things off there.
Clip it.
So is this like a TB12?
It is, yeah, essentially. Yeah, same type of deal. But, it's like I said, it's a place where I started training when I was coming out for the league, and obviously passionate about that. It's helped me get to where I am. And like I said, being able to help me feel the best I've ever felt in my life last year. So I got a ton of faith in Ryan and what he does. And then we want to take it to the next level and bring it to as many athletes as possible. So just trying to get to as many youth as we possibly can and help them reach their full potential.
Hey, Adam, I know Bruce Arians came out recently and said something about off-season programs and how vets obviously they don't really need it. They don't like it. Young guys may need some development. How do you feel? How do you think like the rest of your team feels? Like, do you have to be in the facility there every day in the off-season to get the work you need?
Yeah, so I think there's two sides of it, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be where I am without OTAs, because that was my opportunity to show what I could do, to prove that I belong to, basically that was really my only opportunity. When it got to preseason, when it got to training camp, I didn't get any opportunities. So OTAs was my chance to show what I could do. So there's obviously that side of it. But then there's the other side of it of it does kind of, there's some pieces of it that kind of hurt me as a veteran, that I can't just train specifically for the season for 6 months straight. I have to, train for OTAs, and then, you're doing OTAs for 12 weeks or whatever it is, and then you get a month to train again for the season. So I think there's some benefits of it, obviously, and there's some negatives, but trying to find that happy medium, I think, is what we need to do.
Okay, so what is the difference whenever you're training for the season year-round as opposed to just training for OTAs and everything like that? Is it different exercises, different workouts, or do you think the OTAs going over shit that you already know is taking away from potential opportunity for you to train other things? Like, why is – now, for instance, my position, hey, I'm showing up and I'm putting the ball, okay? And if it's – to be honest, OTAs is nice because I don't have to go kick it at high school and have a bunch of bums running around on the field around me. It's actually pretty good, But for you guys, I know a lot of guys who take their body super serious because their body is their weapon in this whole thing. In the OTAs, in some of their minds, I'm not saying everybody, obviously, because everybody likes it, but some people think, like, this is taking away from me being able to work on my body to get my body to where I want it to be for the season, and really, like, kind of taking time away. Do you think the best way would be to have, like, younger guys do something and then have the vets be allowed to do whatever? Because they say it's voluntary, but it's not. We all know it's not. If you want to be respected on your team or be a captain, you have to be there. I mean, that's just the way it is. But some of those guys might need that time for their body, especially after this COVID protocol where it kind of let everybody do that. And some of the older guys had their best seasons yet. Like, how do you fix it going forward, do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I don't really know what the best solution is. I will say that like you said, when you have to, you don't want to overtrain, right? So you can't be training for the season and trying to make strides of becoming a better athlete, becoming quicker, faster, stronger. At the same time as doing like full practices, like your body can't handle that. So I do feel there is a part of that when you have that many practices and that you can't do both. So you kind of take a step back as far as becoming a better athlete, taking care of your body, being as strong and as sturdy and as your core is being as strong as it possibly can going into a season. So I think there's some of that, but again, you got to have that opportunity for these young guys to grow and to get better and to have opportunity to show what they can do.
Adam, all anybody says though is that the vets are just lazy and everything. They don't want to do the OTAs and blah blah blah. But I think there's real, like what you just said there. I think people will be like, oh, actually, it's the complete opposite. Like these guys actually want their bodies to be in the best shape that they could possibly be in for the season. It's a very interesting thing because I think a lot of OGs kind of get labeled as lazy when really it's not the case. It's just they know their body so much better at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're lazy per se, you're not a guy that's playing 8, 9, 10, 11 years. Those guys, they take it serious. I mean, I tell this story a lot, but my first Pro Bowl was like shocking to me because you get there and you show up and you kind of think like, okay, these guys are just freak athletes, whatever, and you get there and you see why they're Pro Bowlers because they take this game serious. They take care of their bodies. There's training during the Pro Bowl week. There's guys that are training and getting ready for the next season and talking about the game. What helps them get open, what helps them be successful at what they do. And it really was an eye opener of why the greats are great because they take it serious and they take every opportunity to get better.
Yeah, I don't think
I stumbled out of the bar one morning alongside AQ Shipley, who was not a Pro Bowler. We were just having a good time there. And JJ Watt walked by with his cleats and he had his headphones on. And literally that was the moment where I realized, like, yeah, I'm not supposed to be here. This is not how this whole thing is supposed to go. And there's a reason y'all motherfuckers. And I just hung over, stumbled out of brunch right here. So you're 100% right with that, my friend. I appreciate that. But I ain't never missed an OTA. You know what I mean, Adam?
That's true. You're not lazy.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of dumb, lazy guys that are in their 8th, 9th, 10th year in the league. Normally there's something to it. Like there's not a whole lot of you got to be somewhat intelligent and love the game and actually care to work. But big news that happened today, Adam, right before we came on the show, Carson Wentz. He's coming here to be with Pat's Indianapolis Colts. Like, what do you think of not only Carson Wentz changing teams and all of this stuff happening, whatever Philly's going to do now, but especially just like the quarterback market now and how many stud quarterbacks there are everywhere. And we're going to see a lot of activity here over the next couple months.
And Kirk was gone just a couple weeks ago, by the way. Kirk was potentially gone. Like, I think he was getting traded a week ago. Kirk Cousins' name got popped up.
Yeah. No, I don't watch any of the NFL news in the offseason because I know most of it is fake news. But I do want to say that I'm happy for Carson Wentz, and obviously all he's been through and getting a fresh start. I think he's going to absolutely kill it there and have a great year. And I got a lot of respect for him and obviously him being close to where I am from, close to North Dakota. So. Got a lot of respect for him and excited to see what he can do and have a fresh start.
You're close to North Dakota? I thought you were from Minnesota.
I'm from Minnesota, but I'm right on the border. My hometown is like 40 minutes from the North Dakota border, so grew up not too far from him.
You got 12 gauge? You go out there and bird hunt, dude? You out there killing skeet?
That I actually did grow up doing that, but it's not my favorite thing to do. I'd rather be on the golf course.
Hey, are you boys with Josh Duhamel? He's from North Dakota, isn't he?
Yeah, he's actually got a place close to my hometown, so I've got to know him over the years, and big Vikings fan, so he's come out to practices and things like that. But he actually has a little lake place not too far from my hometown, so I actually got to get out there and check it out sometime.
Hold on, so you guys are like, don't you know, just to everybody out there, and it's like we're neighbors, we know each other. If you're in North Dakota, South Dakota, or Minnesota, now that that's kind of a lump there.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, shoot, if you're from northern Minnesota, you got some type of connection. So, a lot of people from North Dakota, they come to to actually my hometown or around my hometown, because we got a ton of lakes and it's a great summer place. So a lot of people in North Dakota have summer places in my hometown. So I get to know a lot of those people.
Connor, what do you got?
Yeah, Adam, you mentioned opening up one of the ETS centers with John Kuhn in Green Bay. Will you restrict Aaron Rodgers from going there because if he gets on your routine, he might throw for 70 touchdowns, or is everyone welcome?
That's a good point. I heard via this show that he's all about squatting and getting these big legs, all strong. So I mean, he's welcome to come to ETS and get strong if he wants.
What do you guys do at ETS? We running, we lifting, we got any pliability going on? We got some sups. We doing sups? What's your sups? What do we got going on at ETS?
Well, I'd love to have you come get a workout in. That could be some good content.
I don't work out anymore. What is it? Is it a workout plan? Like, what do we got? You got a whole system? Is it HIIT training? Is it high intensity training? Is it Olympic? What do we got going on at ETS?
Yeah, I think that's probably why I am so passionate about it, and why I got involved in the business side of things is because it really is the only what we're really all about here is becoming the best athlete as possible. So Ryan, he's done a great job of creating systems to make that happen. It's not just, you don't come in here for a workout, you come in here to train and to become a better athlete. And when I started to feel that and see that and really get the most out of these training sessions and really buying into it and then seeing what my progression was from season to OTAs and see how much different I felt and was able to move more efficiently and break down and change direction so much better was when I really bought in. So our big thing is being strong in the right areas, not being strong to look good, but being able to move efficiently and being able to change direction is huge. So strengthening the muscles to do that, and then also having the right process to become the best athlete.
But you do want to look good, though, right? That's still part of it.
Why are we even working out?
Don't get me wrong, I'm still doing a Friday pump workout, but that has nothing to do with actually becoming a better athlete.
Awesome. Hey, Adam, really, really appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck with this upcoming season. Good luck in Tahoe next year. I think you can win it. I think I placed a bet on you to win it all last year. Ooh. This year I will place the same bet most likely, but ladies and gentlemen, Adam Thielen.
Yeah! Hold on. I got to get something out of this. Hey, I want to golf in your simulator. I see you posting videos in there. The thing looks like it's the nicest simulator I've ever seen in my entire life.
Hey, you're welcome to come anytime. Anytime you're in Minnesota, come on over. Lunch on me, dinner's on me. Let's do it.
All right, you're the best, Adam. Thank you. Sorry about that. I cut off your applause there. You got a pretty good pop from the boys too. That's on me. I apologize for you, Adam. Thank you for your time, dude.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it. Adam Thielen, everybody. All right, hey, Pat and I will be back after this. We're going to take our first break of the show. Callers on the other side, a million different topics. The boys have different things they want to chime in with. A couple more big-time guests, too, coming up on the show. Come on back. This is Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio.
I think I've realized this year with the conversations, you do seem to be a rather normal human, which is very interesting, right? I assume for a lot of people to hear. AJ said, no, you are not a normal human. But because all the stories about you before this year, to be honest, a lot of people, the way they believed is you were the smug king almost is what the thing about it. And then getting a chance to chat with you, it's like, well, that's not the case at all. How is that like something you have to focus on? I assume it gets hard whenever you're hanging out with, Scott Stapp is hanging Aaron Rodgers jerseys up in his goddamn office. That has to be pretty weird.
Well, look, I think that's an interesting thing to talk about. I think a lot of times, people have said things about me, and it's been the same few people, and that's been kind of the prevailing story or thing that's reflected on. I think for me, I talked a lot about the work I did on myself. It was nice, and it wasn't intentional. Like, I didn't sign the show to have, and you guys know, we've talked about this off air, but there wasn't some agenda doing this. It was fucking talk to Pat and AJ every week. Yeah, sounds pretty awesome.
It has been, by the way.
It sounds amazing. But what it's allowed me to do is, I think, silence all the douchebags out there who were, talking for me and making themselves more relevant by using my name or, running with stories that were not really based in any type of fact. And look, I've grown as a person. I've said things and done things that I wish I'd handled a little better. But this was a great, natural, authentic, like, whatever, whether it was 15 minutes at the stadium or 45 minutes, to just, like, bullshit and have a conversation. If you're a friend of mine, if you know me, I think this is about as normal as interaction you're going to see from me. It's not a lot of BS. You're not going to hear cliches and garbage. I'm going to, shoot from the hip mostly. Tell you as much as I feel comfortable telling. I feel like I've been as honest as I could be. I've told you guys a lot of fun stuff. It's fun for me because then I don't have to maybe rehash it on a Wednesday, or people get to see a different side of you that maybe they didn't even know was there or didn't think was there. And it's been fun for me. I really have. I've appreciated every single week we've done these. And like I said, the best part is there was no agenda. There was no plan. I mean, even us, we didn't know we were going to go 10 minutes or 15 minutes or an hour. We just started fucking talking, right? And then this came out. And it's been a lot of fun.
Hey, listen, tonight, you in the red, you in the blue. I hate you both, and fuck you too. Before I leave here, I'm knocking all of you out. Cheers. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You too. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Bang. And I'm out. Give me out.
Como tú eres sin esfuerzos y esforzado ya no me vale un peso. Te conozco y te lo digo, dale, ya no soy tu enemigo. Y dale, dígame una cosa, no me di.
It's the show recommended by 0 out of 5 old white guys. It's the Pat McAfee Show. Given the old
now we are live. We're back. I'm speaking over this poor lady. She does a great job. I appreciate everything she does. But you know what, guys? Football season might be over, but March Madness, that's just around the corner.
Yeah.
And what that means, it's time to bet large amounts of money on teams you have never watched, but you're all of a sudden going to become the biggest fan of those teams. But instead of losing sleep over creating the perfect bracket or convincing yourself that Baylor is good enough to win it all, which they are, there's a team up, or you can team up with our good friends at CBD MD to get the quality sleep you need to feel your best every single day. CBD PM blends sleep-promoting ingredients like melatonin, valerian root, and chamomile with 500 milligrams of high-quality CBD to create a powerful and effective sleep aid. Now, one of the boys, I know Nick, I think, used CBD MD last night. Is that correct, Nick?
I use it all the time, AJ, almost every single night. I got a lot of existential dread, especially after I watch terrible shows like Young Rock.
Oh, shut up!
I get sleep at night after watching something this terrible. So I gotta use the CBD PM, knock myself out.
Hey, it works then, I guess, guys. That's all that matters. It works.
Good show.
And to help you feel even better, CBD MD is offering all of our listeners 25% off your next order when you use the code McAfee at checkout. MCAFEE for people that may not know how to spell that. But once again, CBDMD.com, promo code McAfee, MCAFEE for 25% off your purchase of superior CBD products from CBD MD.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. We are back. Mad Dog Sports Radio Channel 82. Pat McAfee is joining us. I am AJ Hawk, sitting in for Pat on the desk, but Pat is with us, just at a different location, somewhere warm.
This camera. Yeah.
That camera right there. I'm looking at it, Pat. Well, you're right here to the left of it. I've been looking at this camera all day. I might just stick with this until 3 p.m. I really like this camera.
He's been staring right into my eyes the whole show.
I see Gumpy's beautiful beard and his awesome hat. And then you know what? Tone isn't here, Pat. I'm looking at this camera now, right there. That camera, the black one right there. There it is. So I was at a gas station earlier today, making my way here to Indy, and there was like a plethora of cowboy hats set up. And I wanted to buy one for Diggs for the COVID cowboy, but then I realized he's not here. This is his time off, right?
And he only wears nice cowboy hats now. I don't know if you know this. Real motherfucking cowboys are sending him real motherfucking hats now. He's not wearing gas station hats no more. Gas station sunglasses, Connor.
Yep.
Gas station hats, not Diggs. That ain't the way this whole thing rolls with COVID Cowboy no more. He's high society, pal. Now, before we get going, great read there for CBDMD.
Yeah.
Great read.
Hey, baby.
That was a great read. You did really well. Good. I mean, I just very much appreciate what you did there. And, because we went so long there at the beginning before we went to a commercial break, and I was just staring basically down the entire time, unless I picked my head up for a couple seconds. When we went to break there, I lifted my head for the first time. We got a crowd of about 15, 20 here just staring at me as soon as I lifted my head up. I mean, I'm talking incredibly awkward situations popping off. But there's a guy named Alex from Columbus, Ohio, who told me to tell AJ Hawk, go Bucks. He brought me another Mongo.
Yeah,
dude.
So we got no laws with White Claws over here. Big thanks to Alex from Columbus, Ohio. He's listening right over there. And all the other people that are potentially sitting within earshot of me right now, I do apologize. This isn't going to last much longer.
Hey, can you pan and show them a little bit? Can we see any part of the crowd?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see here. Yeah, so, I mean, wait till you fucking see how uncomfortable this has been.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
Look what I parked next to, though. I fucking pulled up right next to the goddamn dually that brought in all the seats.
Smart. Hey, what do you think? Pat, you think we should get to some of these callers?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Who are they, though? There's a couple that have sucked lately that I don't think you should give a chance to.
What about Matt from Philadelphia?
I don't know who that is. He's from Philly. He should be an awesome scumbag, if I had to guess.
All right, I'm clicking on him. I don't know if it's going to work or not, guys. Is he on?
You got to click the little the pin that's to the left side of the name right there.
Yeah. Matt from Philly, what's going on, man? What do you got?
Hey, so I was just calling to talk about this Wentz trade. I think it was a terrible move for Philadelphia. I think they got fleeced. I think the Colts got a steal there. You got a quarterback that's been playing pretty well in 3 of the past 4 years. And I would say hammer Colts to win the division plus 110 right now on FanDuel.
Ooh. Okay, appreciate the call, Matt. Oh, okay, but Pat, is that enough? Is that enough to win the division?
That's a great fucking call from that guy. Did you hear what he just did? He got right in, right to the point, had facts and stats, gambling odds in there. Matt from Philly needs to be celebrated a little bit because that's what a good call sounds like. Thank you, Matt. He's probably a scumbag, right? He's from Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that just is kind of the way things go there. But that was a great call there. Now, do I think that they win the division automatically? Yeah, they should have won the division last year. They had Philip Rivers. Now, it's a good bet. Oh, you're going to break that. That thing's already broke. Don't do what you're about to do. Oh, no.
I'm just hanging out. No. Just holding it, man.
Hey, that thing had to go. That thing went into hibernation midway through the year because it was on its last leg. You know what I mean? If you go with that thing, you're pulling the plug on it officially, and I think it's almost time for that anyways.
No, I'm going to put it right back in its little spot.
Okay, well, that's very nice of you. Zito made that. That was very nice of him to make that holding spot for that thing. It's just duct tape, and it is falling apart as well. But whenever we talk about the Indianapolis Colts and Carson Wentz, like he said, Chris Ballard policed the Eagles for this, right? 3rd rounder, 2nd rounder, potentially first if Carson Wentz plays good. And if he plays good, he'll play more than 75% of the plays. Then it becomes a 1st rounder and all this stuff. If he doesn't play well, I'm not 100% sure Chris Ballard isn't going to think about potentially playing somebody else. I think Chris Ballard is a very smart man. I always assumed that he wouldn't give up 2 1s and a 3rd like people were expecting the Eagles to expect because of Stafford and all that shit. But, man, if Carson Wentz is broken, Frank Reich's seat is going to be very hot there because he picked Phil Rivers, didn't win it all. If he brought in Carson Wentz and they don't win it all, I think Frank's seat's potentially hot. And I love Frank. I think he's a great coach. But this would be 2 of his decisions basically being made. And I'm not ultimately ending up with, not just the grand prize, but even the little one you're looking for, which is division.
Hey, man, sorry, let's go to Brandon in Phil or in Indianapolis. This is something that I was reading about earlier today. What do you got, Brandon?
Hey, what's going on, buddy? So I wanted to talk to you since you're hosting the show today. I want to get your take on the wild card game in 2015 since you were playing for the Bengals.
That's not what was on the list.
Your opinion on the and fucking Joey Porter. Joey Porter's a coach.
Okay, so the situation he's talking about, I wasn't
the Cincinnati Bengals, we had like 65 yards in penalties in one play, and we got knocked out of the playoffs by the Steelers. That's basically what happened. But it
was awesome, though. It was legendary. Yeah. You guys kind of just fucked that completely up.
Yeah, exactly. And I got to be a part of it. So I had a great time there my 1 year in Cincy. But he said something about they don't have a left tackle.
AJ, I have a question.
What?
I have a question, AJ. Do you think if you guys had an indoor practice facility, y'all motherfuckers want to give away that game at the end because of all the built-up frustration of never being warm? You think?
No, I think not having the indoor facility makes you tougher. You got to practice in the elements and walk through in the elements. You got to put on 37 coats just to go do walkthrough for 30 minutes.
Yeah. You guys don't mentally focus over there, though. You're worried about survival, not thriving, and that's a problem. And the Cincinnati Bengals fans should expect more. Because if you don't get a group of dudes like you guys had, like Pac-Man out there, there was about Andy Dalton was leading. I mean, there was a lot of OGs on that team that felt like they're not going to ever get that again now that there's opportunity to go places that are warm and actually win. I think Cincinnati needs an indoor practice facility yesterday, dude.
Yeah, obviously. That is mentioned on the show every single day of the year.
We're the only ones. We're the only ones that care about Bengals fans. We're the only ones that care about the Shield, too. The NFL should not have a team that is that embarrassing. We care about the Shield. Are we not protecting the Shield? We are. That's why that's my commissioner, Roger Goodell, up there, who set that standard, pal.
Our commissioner, by the way. But so
you turned on him.
Oh no, I'm all in. You know, I'm all in on him. I have been. He and Easterby, they're my guys for sure. You know that. But on the screen, it said that Brandon wanted to talk about the Colts not having a left tackle. Now we know Costanzo retired. There's no news. Oh, could they move Nelson out to tackle? And then you're saying, but wait, then he's not going to be as good of a left tackle as he is of a guard. Like, what do you do? We know he's a stud. He's going to be great. What would you do, Pat?
I think he would be just as good at tackle if he wanted to. I think he's such an athlete in his mindset.
It's just different.
His form and everything.
Joe Thomas talked about, but it's very different in what you're asked to do.
I understand. It's more spatial one-on-ones. I understand that. It's more of an athletic build you see at tackles as opposed to guards. I think that is kind of AQ played guard a couple times, all right? They're not putting AQ at tackle. We know that, all right? The Michelin man is not going out there to tackle. It's a different build. But Quentin Nelson is such a great athlete. He can dunk a basketball. That guy can move. I think he could make the transition to tackle if he wanted to. I have a lot of respect for that man and the way he plays football. But you don't take away him at the guard position, especially with Carson Wentz now, where he's going to need that pocket, because last year it looked like he was scared to death stepping up in the pocket. He was throwing it away earlier. I thought he was potentially looking to quit. That's how bad he looked early. Whenever he was getting the ball out, he looked antsy. His legs were spread as if he was doing a groin stretch every single time he stepped into something. It was just a little bit of a situation. So look for Chris Ballard to use either a lot of money, because he has a lot of money, 78 million. Well, that goes down now because we just picked up a fucking massive contract. We still have money. Look for him to look for a left tackle either in free agency or draft one high. And Chris Ballard has a great success rate at bringing people in, and that's a very important position. I assume to him, his first draft pick was a guard. He knows the offensive line is where he needs to make it. He'll make a play at left tackle. And I think there's some tradable guys, too, or free agent guys that are coming up.
Yeah, there's a quick call from – let's go to Jackson in Colorado. Jackson, we're up against it, but what do you got, man?
Yeah, what's going on, AJ? Boys.
What do you got? You got some thoughts on Carson Wentz, I heard.
Dude, Carson Wentz fucking sucks, and I just had a huge sigh of relief this morning that he is not coming to Denver.
Denver?
Was Denver looking like it was an opportunity for him?
I don't know, man. I mean, I personally think Denver is going to ruin any quarterback that comes our way. So I'm hoping Deshaun Watson finds somewhere else, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Carson Wentz.
What are you hoping for, sir?
Yeah, what do you want? I mean, this guy shouldn't be on here.
Mansuri dropped him for us. We're good. What, you know? So just because Carson Wentz is your guy, right? Do you have a jersey yet? What is he gonna? Do we know what number he's gonna wear for the Colts?
I ordered one last week. Okay, I saw this coming. Everybody's gonna act like I was so against it. I was, but I knew. You know, I wasn't living in a fairy tale world, and I think that's why people like this show, is because we live in reality. Okay, my reality right now.
Yeah.
There's a cold breeze coming off the east right now. Okay, it is hitting me right in the face, and my umbrella might get propelled down.
Hey, you know what your reality is, Pat? You know you do the show. We got a hard out coming in 7 seconds. So after the break, Ty Dillon, Xfinity Series, come on back, Mad Dog Radio.
If something happens one time, anomaly. Happens 2 times, it's like, oh, okay, maybe. But whenever there's a trend of 18 plus, 20 plus things being predicted, you got to go like, hey, Groening, the gig's up. We know. You're a time traveler.
Just tell us.
Bro, I just want to talk to you. I got so many questions. Siegfried and Roy tiger attack. Do you remember that?
Of course.
Do you remember back in the day how tight Siegfried and Roy were with their tigers? It was like every main story was like, oh, these tigers are the best behaved animals on earth, blah, blah, blah. Simpsons in 1993 said the tiger is going to turn. This little friendly tiger is going to become an enemy of Siegfried and Roy quickly, and it's going to happen. 2003, it actually happened. Autocorrect errors, 1994. Before you could even play Snake on the gray little box phone, they predicted that autocorrect will happen on your phone. Are you kidding me? Didn't happen until 2007. FaceTime, 1995. Not even a thought. I don't even know if anybody knew what the fuck the internet was.
Oh, that's that little mark with the A and then the ring around it.
At?
See, that's what I said.
Mm-hmm. No,
what is internet anyway?
In 1995, they said, don't worry, you'll be carrying around a device where you will be face-to-face with somebody on the opposite side of Earth. 1995, they said that. 2010, it happened. Faulty voter machines. 2008, they predicted it. 2012, it became the forefront of conversation in a big, big way. I assume these voter machines have been up in question for a long, long time, but they just knew that it was going to come to fruition in 2012.
No, I want to vote for Obama.
2 votes for McCain.
Come on, it's time for a change.
3 votes for McCain.
The God particle. Now, this is the big one. Ty Schmidt did research. He said the God particle is the absolute reason why he is 1,000% a time traveler. Homer Simpson got up there like fucking Matt Damon in that movie where they have that
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, and draws up this equation for what the God particle is, which what is the God particle?
Yeah, it's basically this equation that essentially like explains how the universe was created.
And they did that in 1998, and the exact equation happens in 2012.
That's unheard of.
14 years ahead of time. They got Homer Simpson up there looking like that goddamn janitor from Harvard, solving equations up on a chalkboard, and 14 years later, it's like, yeah, that's actually how the universe was founded. It's like, wait a fucking minute, little comedy writer with the goddamn yellow cartoon, bro. That's insane. The NSA spying scandal. Everybody knew that the Patriot Act was like in existence, but nobody had a clue that NSA literally knows everything about you. Every dick you've sent has been seen by some government agency, but it wasn't always like that. We didn't know that everything was getting spied on, Sean. Nobody knew that.
I didn't know.
They predicted that in 2007, 2013 it happened.
No, Lisa, it's not like the government is listening to everybody's conversation.
Smartwatches, 1995, they said it would happen. 2014, they came to fruition. America's Ebola outbreak, 1997, they said it. 2014, do you remember when Ebola hit? It was literally
hospitals like shutting down.
Oh, they had people wearing like hazmat suits, carrying people around because they were scared Ebola was possible. In the modern world, this was happening. Years and years and years and years ago, Matt Groening said this is going to happen. The FIFA corruption scandal, 2014, they called it. 2015, it came all crashing down. Everybody knew they were getting their pockets greased, making decisions, sending a World Cup to a goddamn desert. Matt Groening said it's going to happen. It happened. Greece's debt default, 2012, they called it. 2015, it happened. So many countries out there, by the way.
They picked Greece?
The exact country to happen. Trump's presidency, 2000, they called it. 2016, it came to fruition. The Simpsons called this President Trump out there, and everybody probably looked at, those Simpsons guys are so funny. Bang, 16 years later, it is about to happen. It goes down. Lady Gaga Super Bowl halftime show, 2012, they called it. 2017. I mean, I think we all knew that she was born this way. She would probably get the halftime show at some point, but to the details that they had. These are not coincidences. Coincidenci. I don't know how you pronounce it.
How the fuck do they know this stuff? It's got to be time travel.
Matt Groening is a time travel. I have so many fucking questions. Disney's takeover of Fox, 1998. They said it. 2017, it happens. The Shard in London, which is a building behind Big Ben, I guess. Is that right?
Apparently, that's what Google search said.
1995, 2009, it comes to fruition. Robot librarians, 95, they called it. 2016, it happens. The censorship of Michelangelo's David, 1990, 2016, it happened. Three-eyed fish from the fucking nuclear waste place.
In Japan.
Three-eyed fish comes to fruition in 2001. Matt Groening did it in 1990. 9/11. 9/11. They called that happening. If you do recall planes going into buildings, they said it in 1997, 2001, it happens. The Syrian uprising, everything that's going on in the Middle East has all been talked about on The Simpsons. And then he created another show called Futurama. That is huge. He created another show like, yeah, listen, here's me rubbing it in the face that's where I could go if I have to. I have so many questions for Matt Groening, and guess what, Matt Groening? The gig's up. We know. I'm all in on you, Matt. And I'm a fan, by the way, aren't we? We're big fans.
I'm a huge fan.
If you want to travel to future me or current me or past me and say what's up, I think we would all be appreciated.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Right here, this camera, we are back. Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. I am AJ Hawk, sitting in for the Pat McAfee, who is joining us here for the YouTube viewers that are watching right now. He is on a beach somewhere enjoying himself. Will be joining us for probably the next 25 to 30 minutes. Welcome back, Pat. How you doing, man? Anything exciting happened during the break?
Nah, nothing really. We do got a server that has made its way out to the beach here. Might pick up a little lunch, huh? Maybe a little chicken Caesar wrap, and shrimp. Maybe some fries on the side with the Mongo claw. I mean, maybe how you doing? Keep it moving. Vitamins down here where I'm at is potentially legal. I mean, maybe we have a good time a little bit, AJ. Great to be here, though. Cannot wait to talk to our next guest, AJ. We're talking. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, pal.
I know. Well, he's not on the line just yet, Pat, but we are going to be speaking with Ty Dillon.
Hey, you see what that's like? You see what that's like, by the way?
Yeah, I do. I see exactly what it's like. I just told the boys. First off, your clutter on this desk. I don't mean to, but your gun just fell over. I've been knocking stuff. I'm about to knock everything off of this desk. There's so much on here.
Clutter? No. Clutter implies that it's randomly placed. Those things are all put right where they need to be.
Are they? Do you know these? Do you know which batteries work and which don't? I don't think you do.
Yeah, I do actually. In the cartridge.
All right, all right. We got a guest on. He's on the line, Pat. Our guy's on the line. We need to go to our guest.
But if the bump is up, it's good. Bumps are down. Like when you open it, you just flat bottom batteries. You know. Bad. They're already been gone.
No juice.
Bump is up, brand new, pal. I got a system. There's no clutter and shit. That thing has been pieced together as if Picasso was doing it, pal.
Hey, Pat, you've been talking. Do you want to introduce our guest, our next one who's coming on?
No, you're the host, man. You closed out that first hour in such a good tease for this intro that I'm here for it.
You're right. So, hey, joining us now, we have NASCAR Xfinity Cup Series. He's in the second place right now, having a hell of a year. Mr. Ty Dillon, welcome to the show.
Yeah! Let's go, Ty Dillon! I follow you guys, big fan of the show, so glad to be on. Know you guys are a big NASCAR show, so I reached out to Pat and said, hey, if you guys need any advice, I can do a little Q&A for you guys. We'll get you guys tuned up.
Hey, Ty, so
wait, we appreciate that, obviously.
Hold on one second, Pat.
And AJ, great intro.
He can't hear a word I'm saying. No, he can't hear anything. Nobody can hear you, Pat.
Let me talk to my friend
anyone can hear
who's a NASCAR driver. Please let me talk to my friend who's a NASCAR driver, AJ. And this is not your friend, okay? This guy's my friend. He's a NASCAR driver. Please.
You got it. Take it, Pat. It's all you.
Ty, I want to let you know, I have driven the pace car, okay, you found the gun. Good. Way to go. Ty, he's been fucking with my shit over there. I don't know if you know this, Ty. He's been messing with all my stuff. He's broke everything thus far. Let's get to all right. No baseball bats needed back there, okay? We're talking to a race car driver. Ty, thank you for your time. Even though AJ's trying to just make it a mockery, I want to let you know, thank you for your time, especially here in between two day 10 races. So last week we had the 500. His name's not Mitch McConnell. It's not Mitch McDowell. It's Mike McDowell wins that thing. Now, this upcoming week, it's a road course. Are you going to win it? How much should I bet on that? And what is the big difference between what we saw last week coming up this upcoming week for those of us that maybe don't know NASCAR as well as we should?
Yeah, man. So Mitch McDowell is Michael McDowell. He's actually a close friend of mine, so that was a cool moment. I would have personally been in that race. We had a race on Thursday night that I missed qualifying for the race by about 3 feet. A guy beat me at the line on the last lap. They call it the duels. So it was the first one I've missed in 7 years. So it was a little bit of a heartbreaker weekend for us. But I ran the race on Tuesday, which is actually on the track that we're going to be running this weekend in the Cup Series. And little niche thing that I might be on trivia for. I ran the first race for Michael Jordan and his team last Tuesday night on this racetrack. So I'm with a different team now this weekend. And you got a question?
You're on Team Jordan? I didn't know you were a Jordan athlete. When you became a Jordan athlete? And were you Bubba Wallace, I knew, was on Team Jordan. Who else? What's the squad look like? Denny Hamlin's got the Jordan thing right there on his belt. Is he a Team Jordan guy as well?
So I was for one race. So I qualified for this race. It was like an all-star race, kind of a pre-race to the season. I qualified. Bubba didn't. I won a stage in the middle of a race last year, which qualified me for this race. So they needed somebody to fill in, and I was the guy they chose. My career, I've been in the Cup Series full-time for the past 4 years, and our team shut down right at the end of the year. So it's been tough getting back on my feet and just putting together one race at a time to try to get back into the full-time gig. So this is one of my opportunities this weekend, and they were able to help me out and getting that first ride for Michael Jordan, which is a big moment for my career. And it went well. I was running 8th or 9th, and we had 2 loose lugs. And if you don't come in and tighten those up, it's $10,000 a lug on the wheel that's loose, and crew chief gets suspended.
Hey, Ty, on that note a little bit, I've heard an ugly rumor from some people that seem to know NASCAR. They say, hey, if we win a race, you know what you see people do? They're going to go do donuts in the infield, and they're going to crash their car maybe into the wall. And they do that so when the post-race inspection comes, it doesn't see that they have been cheating. Have you heard anything about this?
Well, there has been some alleged attempts at things like that, I'd say, over the years. NASCAR it's a really tight box as far as what you do on the race car and manipulating, the rules. And that's kind of the game we live in, just as you might do it with kicking footballs. Or there was a guy who just won a Super Bowl who had some issues with some of his footballs back in the day. Everybody pushes the limits in everything they do. So that sometimes happens in NASCAR, and no one's ever really been busted for doing that, but you hear rumors.
What are people? So people are doing that to get extra ponies, a little hidden pony power under the hood. What are the things you guys? For instance, kickers. We're trying to get the ball beat up as much as possible. The alleged incident that you referred to, that I will now have to talk about, although I did not legitimize it, the deflation of footballs for Tom Brady back in the day whenever they beat us by 50. That was so that he could get a better grip on it. The beat-up ball is for kickers so it could travel further, normally like 5 to 7 yards further with a beat-up ball. What are the cheaters in NASCAR trying to do? Add a little pony power to the car? And what are the regulations on that thing?
Yeah, so there's massive regulations, and NASCAR has done a good job as far as officiating it. But the big thing in our sport is downforce. So downforce is the grip to our football, which is our tires pretty much that allow us to race the car harder, go faster. So we spend millions and millions of dollars on wind tunnels, and just to find a count of downforce is, we'll spend whatever it takes to find that. So there's been a lot of attempts to do things outside the box to gain that little bit of grip that can account to 1/10 of a second on the track. And if you gain 1/10 of a second over 500 laps over the field, you're going to have that advantage. So that's our big goal there. And so, when our teams are put together, our sport isn't ran off of just the sanctioning body. Like, so NFL pays out all the teams after the year as far as what their revenue is. NASCAR doesn't do that. Each individual team has to gather their sponsorship dollars to be able to provide the funding to make their cars better.
So you guys putting salt bags in the trunk so you get a little bit more downforce? What is that? Is that what you guys are trying to do out there? That's crazy. That's a good idea, I guess. Sorry, AJ. Go ahead, pal.
No, I was actually throwing to Connor. Connor had something good he wanted to say.
Yeah, Ty, we saw some guys driving with fires starting in their cars. Has that ever happened to you?
I had one last year that started up inside the car. It's kind of one of those moments where, I knew where it was coming from. I kind of knew the amount of time I had, and I was hoping it was going to go out. Luckily, it did. I stayed in, kept the race going. And it was actually, I think it was at Daytona or Talladega where it happened. And I stayed in the race. It was with about 30 laps to go. The fire luckily went out. It started underneath the dash, is electrical fire. So I kind of knew what it was, and I was hoping it went out, and it did. And I kept going in the race, and it helps to kind of know where the fires are coming from.
Yeah, I would assume that you were hoping the fire would go out while you're racing. And how fast you guys go? How fast NASCAR go?
It depends on what track. Like Daytona, I think the fastest lap ran was an average of 200 miles per hour. So we're getting up to 205, 207. Yeah, it's been higher. My hardest impact was at Michigan Speedway. I think I hit the wall around 215. Somebody had a battery fall out of their car, and it went through the radiator of my car. It's on YouTube. You can find it. That one left an impact for sure.
Hi. How do we have all these professional car builders and batteries are just dropping out of the goddamn thing? That's a question for a whole nother day. Okay, we'll dive into that. You crashing at 215 miles an hour. I watched the doc with McGee. Okay, McGee from ESPN's Marty and McGee. I watched McGee's Intimidator E60 thing about Dale Earnhardt. That was fascinating. Okay, so I didn't know much about NASCAR. Okay, I grew up in Pittsburgh, not a lot of racing. I come to Indianapolis. IndyCar is the thing. My wife loves IndyCar, so I learned a lot about IndyCar. Didn't know much about NASCAR. I think we did something with you actually when you came to the Colts. I think I got a chance to meet you then, which was awesome. But as I started to learn here about NASCAR, this the Hans thing that you guys wear over your shoulders that connects to the helmet, that wasn't always something that existed. There was like 9 guys that died in 10 years, and Dale Earnhardt was one of them or whatever, and now this Hans thing's in place. The safety of those cars, you guys are getting in rockets and driving around. The safety right now is at an all-time high, I assume, but you still have to go in there and just piss and shit your pants out of fear every single time you hop in?
Yeah, no, it's definitely still very dangerous, but the safety has come a long ways, and that's kind of where my background in racing comes from. Actually, my grandfather owned Dale Earnhardt's race team, so when that happened, that was a big impact to our family, obviously, and the sport really took a jump as far as getting a lot safer. Now, luckily, mostly things you hear about is concussions and stuff like that, like any other sport is dealing with, but the advancements in technology, NASCAR puts a lot of time and resource into that too for our safety, which we all really appreciate. But the Hans device was a big one, just to keep your neck from not going past a critical length when you hit the wall. And some of the slow motion testing that we see that mimics kind of some of our impacts and some of the in-car camera footage is quite scary when you see it in our sport. But we get paid to do a dangerous sport. We get paid well to do it. And so that's part of the risk, and that's kind of what makes us the special few that are 43 that get to do what we do.
Ty, what kind of driver are you in the snow? And I only ask this because I drove here from Ohio today to Indianapolis, and 10 minutes from my house in Ohio, I came to a 4-way stop. There's like 6 cars already there, 2 in front of me. I started sliding, couldn't recover, realized I'm going to blast these people right in the back. So my grandpa taught me, he was a little drift car driver, pump the brakes a little bit and steer out of it and don't panic. So I just maneuvered around all of these cars. Luckily, they were all paying attention and they didn't hit me. They could have easily driven through and hit me, but I made it. I felt good about it, and it made me think of you like, hey, do you have any extra tricks, or what do you do in the snow?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be talking to a real lifesaver here today. Big moment for you, so that's awesome. No, I think if you ask my wife, she'd say I'm a terrible driver in the snow and in the ice. We were in Montana. She's from Seattle, so she's got probably better experience than me. And we were in Montana going on a ski trip, and I almost drove us both off into a ditch one day. Similar situation. I was stopping, and with racing and driving on ice, anything, if you start to lock up the brakes and you're on the brake pedal, you get that ABS. We don't have ABS, but you get that locked up and you can't really do anything. The more you can kind of release the brake, it actually helps slow you down better. So that was what your grandfather said was exactly right.
It's good to know.
Okay, I'm happy. Hey, by the way, you making a mockery out of me potentially breaking my neck, okay, is a slap in the face to everybody that's ever stepped foot into a steel cage wrestling ring. Okay, AJ, just want to let you know that. Look out for Hulk Hogan.
I wrestled last
What
night.
you just did, the disrespectful shit you just did right there. Young Rock would have slapped you in the mouth. Andre the Giant smacked you in the mouth right now.
I wouldn't have said the F word. I would not have said the F word to Andre the Giant.
Yeah, by the way, you did watch. Okay, shout out you. Great show. Young Rock. Can't wait to see it. Tuesdays on NBC, 91% fresh.
It's on Peacock.
No big deal. How
It's
you
on
doing?
Peacock,
Keep it
really,
moving.
not really
And
on
he
NBC,
told us
stinks.
It was universally loved. So nothing
Universally
more needs to
hated.
be
Show
said. Hi.
stinks.
Speaking of driving in snow, they're putting dirt down on Bristol, aren't they? It's going to be a dirt track race down in Bristol. What's that change? Are you guys racing your NASCARs on there? Is it sprint car that's going to be in there? What type of dirt track racing should we be looking for? And does that mean everybody's going to crash like everything? Is that what that means? It's going to happen in Bristol.
Yeah, pretty much. It's going to be a unique deal. We NASCARs ran on dirt with cars before. It was actually trucks. I ran in that. That was dirt racing is actually my background, going around local tracks all the way around the Northeast and Southeast, and that's where I grew up racing. So I'm pumped that we're putting dirt on a racetrack, and we're going to actually drive our cup cars on that track. So it's going to be exciting. Nobody really knows what to expect. We used to, back in the day, be able to go test at these tracks before we race on them, but we get zero practice at all. We pretty much now with COVID, we show up and race and hope all the parts and pieces stay on and go out and put on a show. So it's going to be quite the experience, and I'm looking forward to that race. I think it's going to be a big one down there in Tennessee.
Ty,
Wouldn't racing be a sport that COVID couldn't affect? I mean, aren't you like quarantined in the middle of fucking nowhere? How come they're not letting you guys do any practices?
Yeah, I think just contact with the guys on our team. We travel with about 12 to 15 people per team each week. So a lot of the travel and being in the garages together. If we were to practice, I'm working with all those guys getting in and out of the race car. So contact is tough. But we were one of the first sports to come back, and pretty much our rules are that we show up 3 or 4 hours before the race and sit in the motorhome or sit in a car and wait. And 10 minutes before the race, we hop out with our suits on, get in the race car, do our job, and fly back home to wherever we're heading.
Nice. Legendary.
Ty, one of my favorite NASCAR clips of all time is KY socking Joey Logano in the mouth. Have you ever gotten any dust-ups, or is there anyone you'd consider a rival that you race against?
Man, there's been a couple over the years. There's you can look them up. I'm sure there's a hit list on YouTube of some of my younger days of getting in it with some people. Probably the biggest one was last year's champion Chase Elliott, when he was his first ever truck race. I believe I was leading the points in that series, and just for those fans who are part of the show that are big NASCAR fans, the truck series would be a lot like our AA series in baseball, maybe close to college football, but the Xfinity series is more like college football to us. So when I was in the truck series, I was leading the points and had a race, and he came down the last corner and he crashed me, ended up beating me. And we had words afterwards, and there's been a couple other situations like that. And there's allegedly a hammer thrown at another driver in one of the races that I was in. There's been some dust ups on my part in my younger days. So.
So you're the one that threw the hammer. Okay, so let's you just kind of
shout out to Hammer now.
Shout out.
What? By the way, Hammer is much smarter than it's like football guys. AJ's fingers look like they're bananas going in different directions because he had to grab jerseys and throw jerseys, and then he would get upset, quick fuse. He'd get upset. He'd throw a punch right at a helmet, and only the stooges in football do that. They throw punches at helmets. But I see in NASCAR, you guys are all about throwing punches right to the helmet, punching windows. Is there ever any strategy talk like, hey, we need body blows if we get into a real fight with another NASCAR driver instead of the headhunting, or let's throw more hammers or wrenches or things like that? Is there ever any conversations for strategy in après race fights and stuff like that?
I think the same rules apply. I think you're not real intelligent if you're throwing blows at helmets, for sure. You got to uppercut if you are, and then you got to wait till that helmet comes off and then go for it if that's going to be the case. So a few years ago, NASCAR kind of opened it back up and said, have at it, boys. We want to see some excitement. So Our sport is coming alive, and we're having a lot of fun.
I'm sorry, AJ. Maybe my last question here. I don't know how much time you have. My AirPods are going to die. It's going to be my exit from this. Is my AirPods are just going to die. I'm not going to be able to do anything. So whenever that happens, you said that they said open it up, have at it, boys. If you got to do what you got to do. Back in the day, while watching the Intimidator E60 thing and learning about it, he was a heel. He was a heel. He was trying to be a wrestling heel. He was okay with it. Had the persona and everything like that. You guys kind of have to get along though, don't you? Because if you have a real asshole in there, that kind of ruins everybody's life potentially at any given moment, right? Don't you guys all kind of have, because that's a sport where the respect level has to be all time high, because there's a chance you can fucking end it right now for somebody, both life and race. How do you balance that? And are there people that are very difficult to get along with in the series in there, and everybody knows it? And when you see their car come in, you're like, I ain't rubbing with that guy. I ain't tailing that guy. Is there some of that in there as well?
Yeah, definitely. There's some unique dynamics across the board. We all have to travel and see each other so often. It's not like we're individual teams playing in individual stadiums. So that's one of the aspects. You kind of have to live with seeing the guy the next week every time. So it does happen, and there are certainly guys that are like you know who you're racing against, and some guys I might give a chance going in the corner or two corners, but there's a couple guys out there that I don't give them more than one chance, and you just know the attitude of the people you're racing against. There's unique dynamics, like I said, and but we're all going out there trying to make a living and win races, and at the end we all have that respect of, hey, you got to do what you got to do to be number one in our sport. So everybody knows the risk that goes with it. If you want to block me, you're going to run a chance of getting crashed, and it's part of it.
I love it. Hey, Ty, we really, really appreciate you coming on. Appreciate everything that you do. I'm gonna try to tune in and watch some more NASCAR because of you, and especially if you're gonna be throwing hammers and wrenches at other drivers, or the possibility is there. I will be watching. But Ty, thank you very much. Really appreciate your time, ladies and gentlemen. Ty Dillon. It's good. It's a good guy, Pat.
Hey, good NASCAR talk.
Yeah. You obviously, you're really deep into NASCAR.
That Intimidator E60 thing was an eye opener, dude. He was out there cutting promos. He had these big sunglasses on. Country ass, dude. These big old sunglasses on. People were just scared to death whenever he was trying. He was a full heel. He's doing what he's not supposed to do around turn one, like that whole thing. And then he went out protecting for his kid and his. I mean, it's just like I really got into it after watching that. Ty Dillon and I did something. They started doing a NASCAR race at the Indianapolis 500, the Brickyard. They started doing the Brickyard, and it's right at the beginning of our season. So they asked us to do a little marketing thing with them. It was me, Matt Overton, and Ty Dillon. All I remember from that shoot is they gave me a cowboy hat, and I said yeehaw twice. That's all I know. But I don't think anybody went to the race, and that's a shame because I'm really starting to love watching NASCAR at this point.
Do you ever have anyone tell you that you should be one of the pit crew? I've had guys tell me, hey, the pit crew's like big, jacked up dudes. They just work out together all day and slide across the hood and change tires. Like, does anyone try to push you to that?
Funny you say that, AJ. There are a lot of ex-college football players, actually. You don't make the league, you get recruited in to be the pit crew. Evan Fox and I went down to Charlotte, North Carolina. I forget what team. Do you remember what team that was, Foxy?
This might be wrong. It wasn't Hendricks, was it?
I'm pretty sure it was.
It was Hendricks Motorsport. Back whenever we were with Barstool, I went down there. There was a deal made. And the night before, we stopped by Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s bar.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And we shut down Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s bar that night as well, okay? And then 7:30 a.m. came, and it was like, hey, we got to go shoot and be a member of this pit crew team. And that practice was no joke, AJ. I almost puked on a NASCAR 4 or 5 times. This sprinting, we lifted weights, we ran sprints. They have strength and conditioning coaches. They live in a facility there. They have an entire gym. They have a practice station, practice car. That is something that they all really try to take advantage of. And the more and more you watch racing, like, if you get a pit crew that saves you 2 seconds, you might as well have just moved up 4 spots. It's a real deal thing. They're paying real money to guys, too.
They are. So, Pat, I know your AirPods are going to die, and we know you're going to get back to your semi, short vacation that you're taking down there. You will be back Monday, right?
Yeah, I'll be back Monday. What the fuck do you think this is?
Okay, come on. All right, whatever. So I had to get your opinion before you got off the show, before your AirPods die. Pat, after 5 years of professional baseball, Timmy Tebow, he's done. He's retiring, man.
Oh, no.
What do you think? Do you think it's time? Should he have hung him up or should he have stuck around?
You know, Tim Tebow is going to make the right decision. When Tim Tebow makes a decision, I trust Tebow's decision. Okay? Tebow, though, for a long time, has wanted to chase this dream of being a professional baseball player. We talked to him down at the Super Bowl 2 years ago in Atlanta. He was an incredible human, came in there, shook everybody's hand. There was no ounce of bullshit from Tim Tebow at all. We had never been more surprised meeting a human being. Now, I wish Ty would learn from that experience and how he addresses Russell Wilson going forward. But Tim Tebow was nice to everybody. He lived up to every single expectation and standard that you would ever think of. The potential son of Jesus Christ, Tim Tebow. Whenever we talked to him, he said, like, he's not going to let numbers or failure or anybody else tell him what his dreams and visions are. He was all in on baseball because the way we asked him the question was like, hey, you know, like, you could go be a model anywhere right now. He could go be the face of any product on earth right now. Tim Tebow could get. He could be on ESPN all day if he wanted to. He can make all this money. And I said, but you're focusing on his baseball thing while you're riding in buses, sleeping in like Days Inns, maybe Motel 6s. Like, what are you doing? He's like, it's my dream. It's my dream. It's my dream. So I wish he would have made it to the big leagues. I wish he would have hit a home run, a donger. I wish he would have got a chance to live out that absolute childhood dream. But now it's time for Tim Tebow to come back into the entertainment world, save more lives with the introduction of Jesus Christ, and probably take over every potential job that I was almost up for just moments ago.
Well, but technically, isn't Russell Wilson still a professional baseball player?
No, he's not a professional baseball player. He doesn't do spring training. Ty, tell him, please.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? And a lot of people were saying to me, like, oh, Ty's going to be so excited that Tebow retired. Yeah. You know what? I'm not. I mean, hats off to the guy. He did what he had to do, but someone finally told him, like, hey, Tim, this takes a lot of time and effort and energy. And even if you give it all that, you're still probably going to fucking stink. So, like, you're not going to make it to the big leagues. Go make a bunch of money at ESPN. Go talk about SEC football. You're great at it. Everyone loves it. Yeah. You can't hit a goddamn curveball, dude. It's been 5 years. Hang
now,
it up.
Also, to be fair, him and his wife are probably going to have a reality TV show that's going to make them. I mean, that's why we all thought this about.
What network would that be on, though?
Jesus What's that?
Channel. What network would that be on, or would it be on? Would he put it out himself?
Put it on himself. He goes, oh, Tim Tebow's the platform. What are you talking about? Tim Tebow's the network. Okay, ESPN rents the Tebow network every once in a while. That's what happens. It's a whole thing that goes around. But I think that is why we have all been so surprised that he continued to play baseball, because I guess once every other week or so, maybe once a month, we'd see him hit a home run, and we're like, okay, Tim, he's doing good. And then we'd never see him in real baseball. You know, he'd be selling out all these tiny little towns. And it's like, Tim, if you're not going to make it up there, man, you could literally do 15 other things and be the best in the world at them. And I think that is what I'm excited about. Like, okay, let's see Tim like focusing on other things that we think he's going to be great at. But I'm happy he got to live out his dream and he got a chance to play. He was a professional baseball player for numerous years, hit some home runs, did his thing, and just never made it to the top, which neither did Michael Jordan. Jordan.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, he made it a lot farther than most everybody else in professional baseball. But hey, Pat, I know your time is coming to an end. I'm shocked that your phone actually still has battery left. I know your AirPods are dying. Anything you want to get off your chest before we let you roll?
You're doing a great job, AJ. Fantastic job. I thought you were going to stink. You did a fantastic job, honestly. I appreciate your hospitality to me while I'm phoning in here from a much warmer climate, and I think you've done a magnificent job. The end of the first hour, not your best, but everything else was so damn good we don't even stop that. Now, the boys, incredible performance today, boys, was what you were able to do and accomplish. The graphics, the punchlines, the barking to the Sirius XM channel to Mad Dog Sports Radio, the added to the conversations. You boys had a great day today. Hey, boys, great day today. You know that?
Thank you.
Great day.
Thank you.
Enjoy those claws.
But for me, it's time for me to digest some things. It's time for me to inhale some things.
Hell yeah.
And it's time for me to have a little 3-day weekend. I will be back Monday. AJ, I do believe you'll be joining us then. I'm about to go ahead and stare out at the ocean here, think about some things, come back with a whole new game plan. And when I know and realize that Carson Wentz is going to be our quarterback next year, I'm going to have to come up with a pretty deep explanation why I completely turned on thinking that guy fucking stunk at football to why I think he's good. And that's what these next 3 days are for. And I can't wait for it. I appreciate you all back there. Enjoy the ice and the snow. I'll bring some sand. This wind, though, I would never wish this wind upon anybody that we have down here. But hope you guys have a great weekend. And viewers, listeners, you're the best humans on planet Earth. AJ, you're the best. Safe travels back to Ohio.
Thank you. 1 second, Pat. Nick has something for you.
Pat, real quick, I just wanted to say thank you so much for somehow being miles away on a beach and still having a better internet connection than AJ Hawk in his own home.
Why would I throw it to you, Nick? I had control of that. Why would I throw it to you if I knew that was what you were going to say?
Well, that's the thing about that back room behind the glass. You never know what narrative they're going to just burn to the ground at any given moment because they like to see fire and flames and people in bad situations. With that being said, a lot of people have been saying around here, just at this beach that I'm at currently, that it's amazing that here I am on a tiny little island. Okay, I don't see a tower in sight. There is 40,000 people on this beach too, because everybody came to where I am at right now. Hasn't broken apart one time. AJ's up there smoking, 62.5 to 80.5 puffs a day in his house, which is built like a goddamn mansion, mega mansion villa. He's got no internet. That's because AJ doesn't care about the show until he's in studio. It has been very nice to see you crush this, AJ. I appreciate it.
Hey, you know what? I have been very surprised by your connection there on the beach, but you're one of those Illuminati. You got 5G. You had 5G like 4 years ago, so you're fine.
You think I'm Illuminati? I'm the person the Illuminati didn't want to get rich, pal. That is who I am, Bubba.
All right. That is Pat McAfee from the Pat McAfee Show. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, I'll see you, dude. Have a good one. I am about to get real high. Hey, real.
Hey, Pat, why don't you, hey, if you want to, maybe check back in like at 2:48, and we'll just see how it's going.
All right, that sounds good. I'll do that if I remember. My wife just told you all to go fuck yourself. I will see you guys. Have a great show, okay? Cheers, guys.
Yeah. Wow. What about that? Yeah, I don't know. Z, where do you think he is?
I don't know. Probably, I think Cuba. I heard
Cuba?
it was in Cuba.
Oh. It is a lot more open now, right?
Yeah.
Not with COVID, but it was before COVID.
Yeah, the dictator's gone.
That's right.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Hell yeah.
I tell you what, hey, on the other side, at 225, this camera right here, right? No, this one's picking me up. Who's screwing me back there? Who is screwing me?
Fox, you dog.
There's no light. I'm just looking right in the middle of both these, actually. I'm going to right this door in between these two cameras. But 225, Marcus Peters, now you guys got me freaked out. There's two cameras,
So
no light.
FaceTime camera, main opening camera, and talking to the boys' cameras here right there.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. So, 225, Marcus Peters will join us on the show. Come on back afterwards. We're going to get to some of these callers that have been hanging around for a while. But come on back. This is Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Well, hello, sensual piano keys. You sound incredibly inspirational and motivational. Big announcement coming from our company. You know, throughout my entire life, I've made decisions that people have said, ooh, that is stupid. You've read about them, you heard about them. When I was in high school, I went to an underground poker game, won $1,400, flew myself down to Miami, won a kicking contest, and got a scholarship to West Virginia the next day. I turned my back on soccer that day. Everybody said, you're an idiot. Why are you doing that? You have more schools looking at you for soccer than you do for football. What are you thinking? Fast forward 8 years with the Indianapolis Colts, and I was on top of the world, top of the mountain. How's the view? Not too shabby. And when I was at the top of my game, I decided, you know what? I'm going to pursue some other stuff. My friends and I are going to go to work on the internet. We're going to try to chase fulfillment as opposed to just a paycheck. And there were some interesting responses from people of power in the sporting world.
Make them tear the uniform off of you. Sure. Look, somebody needs to stage an intervention. People who know this guy, get to him now. Make him put his helmet back on and get to camp.
Oh no, there's no intervention, Wilbon. No, no, no. Here we are 3 years after that date, and it's a celebration, bitches! Cut the music! Let's hand out some bags to the boys. For the boys. For the boys.
By the way, that's for you, brother. Oh my God. Are you home?
All right, come out the front door.
What's up, dude?
What is this?
What's this?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
What the fuck? Fuck you.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
That is the bag of money.
FanDuel deal went through. There's $50,000 in there. Here's a backpack with $50,000 in it. Oh, $50,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so there's $50,000 in there. Yeah, so there's $50,000.
Are you fucking serious?
Let's go.
You brought it back?
Oh man. Let's go, dude.
Let's go. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yo, this is.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, dude.
We did it?
Couldn't have done it without you.
Oh, thank you.
Dude, it's a fuck ton of money. You guys.
When I asked Dan Patrick for some advice, he told me always take care of the boys.
Well, and you should know those people that are there with you, that their value cannot be overstated and should not be overstated.
So, Mike Wilbon, they didn't hold my jersey on me. They didn't hold my helmet on me. We didn't have an intervention. What we have is a celebration. Because when you bet on yourself, sometimes you hit for big. And for us, the only place we'll bet for the next couple years in an exclusive deal, FanDuel backed the Brinks truck up to our office, and we have never been more thankful, more excited, and more together as we promote the greatest sports book on planet Earth.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Let's go.
Uh-oh, here we go. What's this called, Z?
Don't leave me lonely.
Yeah, I've heard this a few times. This is a good one.
It's a very good one.
You want me to should I stand up and dance like Pat and everything?
You should.
I'm waiting on Connor. It's actually way worse. It's worse being in studio when you guys are singing. When I'm at my house, I can kind of I can sit up in my attic and it doesn't really.
Just join
I can just enjoy it.
Just start singing.
No, it's good. You guys are good. I don't want to mess you up. And when Jay starts singing and dancing, then I'll think about it.
Come on, Jay.
I'm gonna wait.
Happy birthday, Jay.
I knew I could count on Jay. Welcome back to Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk sitting in for Pat. He joined us for the first hour and a half of this show. Now he gets to enjoy his vacation. Thank you to his wife, Sam, as well, for letting him sit on the beach for an hour and a half and waste his vacation speaking with us. We were entertained. We enjoyed it. We're going to get to some callers now. We have Marcus Peters coming up, 2:25 in the next hour. We have plenty of show before we get there. Let's go out to some callers here. We have some people waiting. You know what? Man, sorry, let's get out to Jordan. He has a comment about Dale Earhart, E-R-H-A-R-T.
That boy, man.
What's up, Jordan?
What's up, AJ and the boys?
Oh, dude.
Hey, I just wanted to pay my respects to Dale Earnhardt. It's 20 years since, the day that happened. And, I just wanted to bring up a topic of discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Jordan.
Dale.
Thank you, Dale. Well, I think Pat has hit on it a lot. Pat saw that. Is that a new documentary that Pat saw? Do we know?
I don't know. It was.
I think I've seen.
right?
I feel like I've seen that, but I think it was years ago. I don't know. He's acting like it's new.
I couldn't
When I
tell
looked
you.
it up, it said release date 2020, so I don't know.
Okay, then it's new. I've seen some stuff on Dale back in the day, and then a lot of Dale Jr. stuff. I just wondered, but yeah, of course, he's the Intimidator, man. He was the guy that made NASCAR. Didn't he kind of put NASCAR on the map?
Him or Richard Petty.
Yeah, Richard Petty. Was Richard Petty a little bit before him, though, right?
I think so.
Is he still,
I don't know.
Is he still I'm
not really the guy to ask.
Richard Petty is he's like an icon. If you saw a silhouette of Richard Petty, you would know it. Is he still around? Do we know?
He was walking with what's his name last year at the NASCAR event.
He was walking.
I remember him walking with Bubba. post garage thing.
83 years old, man. Sorry, tells me. Yeah, he's doing well.
Okay.
Was that not him?
Like walking as in like just going somewhere
I
or
believe
doing
that when
something
all
special?
the NASCAR drivers walk together.
The big walk behind Bubba.
Walk with Bubba.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. My bad. I didn't know what you were talking about. I got confused there for a second. But yeah, of course, Dale Sr. changed the way they work the helmets, the Hans device. Pat talked about it in the show the other day. Yeah, a lot of people probably saved their lives because of Dale Sr. Unfortunately, he had to pass for that to happen. But then a lot of times that's what happens with change. But you know what? We're going to get to somebody else. Okay. Carson in South Carolina. Really? What's your Joey Burrow take, Carson?
Hey, what's going on, AJ and the boys? Just want to give a shout-out to the late night special real quick.
Yeah.
Shout out.
And then I just want to ask, with the Bengals and the uprising, the Steelers going down with Dewey Haskins, aren't they going to be the new slum of the AFC North?
Nah, Bengals still stink.
Appreciate the call, Carson. Okay.
Where was the Burrow?
What's best case scenario for the Bengals this year? What do you think, Gump?
I mean, Burrow comes back healthy and they don't get him killed again.
What's the record, though?
Bengals next year?
Yeah.
To a successful season?
Yeah. What would be a success for you?
6-10, 7-9.
Really? You think they think the same?
I think so.
You think the head coach stays around if they go 6-10?
Well, they don't fire anybody. Look at I mean, I would bring Marvin Lewis back.
That was like legit. Didn't Marvin get a couple head coaching interviews?
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
Texans did for sure.
Lions did as well.
He was coaching with Herm Edwards, right?
Yeah.
At Arizona State. Is he still there?
Herm,
yeah.
No, I mean, is Marvin still there, though, right?
I'd assume so. I don't think he didn't take a job anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be crazy for Marvin to get back in. I played for Marvin for a year. I loved him. I thought he was he knew how, and the team that Patton mentioned earlier in the show, like the roster we had in Cincinnati at that time, it was an eclectic group. It was a fun group. Ray Malaluga, Vontaze Perfect, Pac-Man Jones, Carlos Dunlap's in Seattle. Now, that's just some guys on the defensive side of the ball. Geno Atkins. We had some studs everywhere you look. We had some big-time personalities as well, and it was a lot of fun. I loved it. But Marvin did a good job of kind of holding it all together, which most coaches, I don't think, could. Like, it's not an easy thing to do when you have that many personalities that are that good. They just, I don't know. It's a lot of coaches somehow they try to hold on too tight or like, oh, I want to have all the power. I don't want my guys to be individuals at all. Marvin had a great like give and take of, hey, you can do this, you can get away with it. I'm spilling stuff all over because Pat's desk is the most cluttered situation I've ever been a part of. Come on now. What are we doing? You all right? Give me some. This is ridiculous. First off, I don't like clutter. I've been telling the boys every break. This is the most cluttered situation I've been a part of. Is Pat's desk? You guys. Is there anyone that could throw some of this stuff away before the next time I have to come sit in for Pat?
Oh, it's organized madness.
Oh, this is all over a computer, too. Whose is this? AJ.
Good God. Oh, you brought an Apple gift card. You're going to have to own
I don't know if I'm going to go read this CBDMD read in the third hour. Now I spilled stuff all over it, man. What are we doing here? So, hey, Marcus Peters coming on 225. What do you think? Where do you think he's at right now? What does he want to talk about today? Is he promoting anything? Do we know?
I don't think he's promoting anything.
Cool.
He probably just wants to talk to you.
Just wants to hang out, right? Marcus Peters. How many picks did he have his rookie year? 7, 8?
Shit ton.
Every year he has a ton of picks, I feel like. And I was saying something earlier before the show. I feel like he's been in the league for 15 years, but I think he's only been in 6. It's just because he makes so many plays, and whatever team he's on, it seems like they're playing prime time, and he's making a huge play for them.
For you, like, how hard was it to learn a new defense when, you switch teams? Because, like, for Peters, obviously plays corners, kind of more of a man-to-man, but, like, across the board on the defensive side, is it hard to, like, switch schemes that quickly?
It is a little bit. So I came in with the scheme. A guy named Bob Sanders was the D coordinator in Green Bay when I got there. After my 3rd season, he got fired. Dom Capers came in. We switched to a 3-4. That's a new thing. Yeah, it takes some time, man. It takes time to feel like completely comfortable.
Yeah.
You hear the whole cliche or the analogy. It's like learning a different language. Like when do you start dreaming? Like if I learn Spanish, when do I dream in Spanish?
Yeah.
Oh. Never, most likely for me. I don't think that's ever happening. But yeah, with football, it's true because a lot of what you do is the same, just the terminology is different. So a lot of times I think I've even said it on here, you learn like, okay, we call this blitz Tahoe, but in this new scheme, it's called Baker.
Yeah.
So now they call in my helmet for a new team, they say, okay, whatever Baker, I'm thinking Baker. Oh, Tahoe. And that's how you do everything. So you got to get past that because that second and a half, that'll catch up to you after a while if you're doing that for every single call. So, yeah, it's not corner is a little different, but still, man, they still have to know what's going on around them. That's the biggest thing. Like, yeah, what do I do? That's cool, but I need to know what the other 10 people around me are doing so I can understand like why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Because he's crushed everywhere he's been. I mean, he's been successful no matter where.
Stud.
He jumps more routes than anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not scared to get burned on the other end. Like
that's huge.
He
man.
has
like,
more pick
confidence.
sixes than anybody.
That's what it takes. Like if you want to do that, you're going to live with that. You're going to die with that. But he seems to make way more plays than he does get beat deep when he does take those chances because they're taking calculated risk. I'm sure I'll ask him when he gets on, but a lot of those times people think, oh yeah, he just felt it. His instinct said, hey, I'm going to go jump this. No, he probably watched him run that play 85 times. Yeah. He looked at the situation. He felt like, okay, hey, it's third and medium. They like to do this. This is my time. This is my time to take a chance and make a play. And great guys like Charles Woodson, that's what Charles did, man. Mm-hmm. Charles knew when we need to play and when he could take a chance to go try to make that play for us. And for him, it usually pretty much worked every single time.
That's why it's also interesting that he kind of gets a bad rap about being like a bad teammate or whatever because he's been on multiple different teams. But if you ask anyone that's played with him, they're like, yeah, he's the man.
They do love him, don't they?
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's incredible.
And he never asked to be traded either. Like, it's always just been,
he's on his third team already, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But he makes plays wherever he goes, and he hasn't had any off-the-field issues, has he?
No.
There was just that one thing after the Chiefs lost the playoff game where he was headed to the locker room and he yelled something like, I'm out of here or some shit like that. But yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah,
it's not like he was throwing hammers at cars driving by on the highway.
Exactly. I mean,
Ty Dillon was doing on the NASCAR track, the Xfinity track, I guess. Allegedly, he said maybe. What did you guys think of Ty Dillon? I thought he was good, man.
Awesome. I'm going to hammer him in the next race.
I'm going to
bet all my money on him.
Oh, you bet on NASCAR too?
Oh, yeah.
Now I do.
Yeah.
Who's his grandpa? His grandpa owned Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s team?
Yeah, that was a hell of a little nugget.
I assume you guys all knew that already.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Of course. Dillon Racing? Are you kidding me?
You didn't know that, Connor?
No, of course I knew. Got it written down right here.
Okay, man, sorry. We got a guy, Logan in Seattle. A topic that I love to chat about, the technology of the NFL helmets getting better. What do you think, Logan?
Yeah. So during my time in high school, I got to watch them like make the speed flex and the Vices. And like Vices just came out with like the first position specific helmet. And so like, what do you see the development of technology improving and as a player, and where do you see it going? This can be tossed around the room. I want to hear what all the guys have to say.
I want to hear what all the guys have to say too, but I guess my stance on it, yeah, I think it's great that they're doing this. I think it's great that they are trying to find a way to make things healthier, protect guys, and do all of that. I just don't know what you can do. Does the helmet get bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden it sticks out 19 inches from your forehead because it has a huge pad? Obviously that's not going to happen, but I just wonder what you can do because like I've said a million times, if you are wearing a helmet, you're going to use it as a weapon. That's just how I feel, and I feel like because that's what everybody else is doing. It's just kind of, yeah, you can work, and I do like what they're doing with the heads-up tackling and how they're teaching it from a young age. It is going to help a lot. I really think that, but I just don't know about the technology. I don't know what you can do. Like, do you guys think that these helmets can really find a way to cut way back on CTE and head injuries that people have?
Well, no matter what, like the bang plays that happen where some guy catches and he goes down and a split second later where you were going to hit his chest, like you're hitting his helmet then. But what happened to like the Wes Welker helmet when he was in when he was in Denver? Because he had that one where you could actually see the padding inside the helmet because there was so much of it. Did they just like scrap that after it didn't really work?
But did you guys ever see? You guys are probably too young. When I don't think it happened when I was in high school, but when I was a kid watching my high school play, if a guy got dinged up, which I don't know if they called them concussions or not, if he got dinged up, they put this like mushroom on top of his helmet. So it was like this extra maybe half an inch that just stuck on top of his helmet. The guy looked like an idiot. Everyone laughed at him, and he would run, and that was supposedly what protected him more. I'm like, man, it would just make it more of like a dull thud when he would hit people. So those I haven't seen around in a long time, though.
AJ, you've never had a concussion, right?
Zero, yeah. Well,
so AQ Shipley makes the same claim. What if we, like, after you guys pass on, we take, like, your guys' skulls and we replicate that with synthetic material and kind of create, like, a hybrid helmet out of your warrior skulls?
What are you wearing, the Hawk or the Shipley?
Yeah, the Hawk helmet.
My family better get some kickback from that if that does happen. Well, you know what? Why don't you just, like, Neuralink with Elon Musk? Why don't you take a little chunk of my skull now? You can take it. I'll still live through this. Take like a chunk about that big, and then if you can use that to make your
replicate
helmet.
it.
Could you replicate that? Is that all you need? I don't need to die, do I?
Yes, I'm sorry. We'll just take a sample.
There's the helmet.
Oh my gosh, Wes Welker. Oh yeah. For people that are listening only on Sirius, we're looking at a picture of Wes, and that helmet looks like it's about 6 times the size of his head.
Yeah.
How many workouts do you have to do for your neck for that helmet?
I mean, that's the thing. Neck and traps, man. Neck and traps. Like, oh, you gotta get your neck and traps so you can kind of, it helps you absorb those blows. No, you just needed to hold up that stupid helmet they used to put you in. I don't know, man. What do they do? Do we know what these helmets look like? Has anyone seen the new ones?
No.
I just want to know what the technology is. Like cool, better padding, whatever. Like, is it like memory foam padding in there? Connor, what did you wear in high school when you were dominating AJ Dillon?
I wore a Zenith. That was back in the day when they were using Zenith.
Back like 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Well, I remember for a while there, unfortunately, Ray Rice was the face of Zenith for a while.
Was he really?
Yeah. And then they had, because he had his own customized face mask and everything happened. And I haven't really heard much from Zenith since then. But
I didn't know about that. I had no idea. Oh, man. Uh-oh. We got a guy in Pittsburgh. Hey, man, sir, let's go to Mike in Pittsburgh quick. Make sure he's all right. What's up, Mike?
Hey, AJ and the boys. How you doing?
Great.
Well, I'm sure you guys are happy to get Carson Wentz out there in Indianapolis. I must say, as an Eagles fan, it feels like I just went through a bad divorce, and I think the Eagles organization is on the losing end of it. Getting Carson Wentz traded for basically scraps of draft picks. I mean, I knew this breakup was coming, but
what'd you want, Mike? What'd you expect? Did you want Carson to still stay in Philly, or did you just want them to get more for the trade?
Well, to be honest, it's like you knew it was coming, and I guess I would have seen I knew there wasn't going to get much in a trade. I knew it was going to be bad. I just knew it. But now we have rumors that our GM is going to be looking to get a quarterback in the first round. I know it's just a rumor, but there's rumors about Indy taking Carson.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. Mm-hmm. There really is. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate the call. I don't know. He said he's a depressed Eagles fan. Did he want Carson to hang around?
Well, Philly has to draft another quarterback because they are, in fact, the quarterback factory.
That's right. So how do you move forward? Would they take a quarterback in the first round?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. They got the 6th, so they could get Trey Lance.
And Jalen's going to be running off-season workouts and stuff. What are you telling Jalen? He's saying, hey, this is my team. I'm going to set up off-season workouts and throw routes to him. What are you telling Jalen then?
Might as well buy into him. I mean, they had a rugby player at right tackle. They got to draft a lineman. They do something to help him out a little bit.
You tell him to watch as much Taysom Hill film as he can.
Yeah.
And say, hey, we need you to be this guy next year.
But I mean, as we saw in the Super Bowl, if you can't protect your quarterback, nothing else fucking matters.
Yeah, you saw it with Patrick Mahomes.
Right?
And man, have you ever see all this stuff going around about Patrick Mahomes? No one's giving him any heat for how he played in the Super Bowl and all these other quarterbacks.
For his damn life.
Have you seen some of the throws this dude made in the Super Bowl when he's completely parallel to the ground and he's somehow can zing that thing to the end zone and he's running for his life all day long? If that's not something that shows, hey, if you can get pressure on the quarterback, you can affect anybody. That's the whole stat. Hey, this quarterback is 60% against when they rush more than 4 against him. This guy is 72% when they rush 5 or more. Okay, I don't know what that means. But if you get pressure and you don't let a guy stand still and you don't give him clean throwing lanes, he's going to have issues. And we saw that. And to Tampa Bay's credit, they got 4-man pressure and they covered very, very well on the back end. It's a lot easier said than done. Tampa was able to do it for some reason.
For the Eagles, if they wanted more, why didn't they package Ertz in there? Unless the Colts obviously didn't want him, but if they wanted more picks.
I think they want him. Wouldn't the Colts want Ertz?
I think so.
He needs a new contract right away, though, doesn't he?
But what do you have to give Ertz, though, to make him happy?
I don't know. I mean, that's why he wanted out of Philly, though, right? He had the big dust up because they kind of went with Goddard.
What is Doug Peterson doing, and when do we get to hear from him?
I think he's taking some time.
Yeah, he's probably boozed up right now.
But eventually he's gonna want to get it out, don't you think? Is he gonna write a book? We need to hear his side of the story.
He should write a book. That's a good idea.
Because he's probably thinking hey man, I brought a Super Bowl. I got a statue out front, and now it's like I'm getting run out of town, or he kind of wanted to leave. When did it all start going wrong?
Does he even care, though? Because realistically, he takes a year off. He's probably going to get either an OC job or a head coaching opportunity again.
There's a lot of coaches who could spill the beans. Look at Bill O'Brien and what's going on with the Texans. He could say a lot of shit.
Do they have Do they have NDAs? Do they have anything where they can't say certain things?
I wonder.
They for sure have to when they leave.
If you get some kind of severance or buyout, I'm sure they can silence you for a little bit.
If Easterby's involved, there's got to be something there.
Oh Jesus!
Easterby and his lawyers.
Well,
That's
Bill
a scary
O.B.
thing to think about.
Bill O'Brien was writing his own contract too, so because he was the
Oh, he was
contract
everything.
negotiator.
Yeah,
so
true.
he could say whatever he wants.
What a great gig. I wonder if he can work himself into another gig just like that, where he does everything.
Well, I don't know if he could, just because the success he had wasn't really parallel to giving him another opportunity like that.
We'll see. I'm curious as to what Doug Peterson has to say. I want to know him. I want to know Bill O'Brien, Jay Gruden. He's given his thoughts a little bit. He'll hopefully be on TV next year doing games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
it's a
all
good
blacked out somewhere.
Allegedly.
Their photos.
So we're gonna take this second hard out here of this hour, but guess what? Marcus Peters will be back at 2:25. He'll be joining us. We're gonna hit some callers on the other side. A lot of great things going on around the NFL. Everywhere you go. I'm AJ Hawk sitting in for Pat McAfee. Come on back.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man who is an absolute stud, a man who's a Super Bowl champion, a man who has a nickname that when you hear it, you think, oh, that dude's a badass. Ladies and gentlemen, the Shermanator, fullback for the Kansas City Chiefs, Anthony Sherman. What you chose to do here, Super Bowl week, you're giving away your truck, which looks to be incredibly souped up, to raise money and awareness for the human trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, it really wasn't necessarily my idea at first. I had a couple of buddies of mine that decided to figure out a way onto my Twitter account and put this up as a prank, and then kind of gave me two options and was like, hey, either you can look one way or you can look the other way. So I just decided that, hey, it is only a truck, so it really started with Oreo cookies.
Who did this to you? How did this work out? And how are Oreo cookies involved in this entire thing?
About maybe a month ago, I took cookies down to Fort Scott, Kansas, and dumped about 12,000 Oreo cookies into Adam LaRoche's Raptor in through the sunroof.
This is Adam LaRoche, baseball player.
The baseball player, yep.
You're saying that LaRoche, in response to the 12,000 Oreos you dumped into his truck via sunroof.
Opened each package and then dumped them into the sunroof.
And here we are, Super Bowl week. He set up an entire website that is functional right now. I think it's up to $50-some thousand.
Wow.
Is currently being raised for this.
I'm glad you told me that, because he won't tell me. And I came back from practice on Saturday morning with a Colquitt running over and going, hey, Adam wants me to show you this. And it's this whole long video of him telling me what he did. And he goes, well, by the time you see this video, there's probably 30 million people that have seen this tweet. And you don't have many options. I was more caught off guard on how he was able to figure out a way into my Twitter. It's not just Adam, mind you, either.
Who else?
Matt Light is involved.
Former Patriots offensive lineman.
Yeah, the guy that I used to grow up watching on television every week from being from North Attleboro. Yeah, that guy that I had never met before in my life. But he decided to get on board with Adam, and he's been on all these radio shows and talking about how great I am. And it's been a prank from day one, but I'm all on board now, and I hope it raises a ton of money, and I'm giving my truck away February 19th.
How did they get in there, you think? Did Adam have your password, you think?
He knows a lot of people, and he's got some high-up hackers, I believe.
Whoa.
That hacked into my Twitter account.
You think that Adam's high-up friends legitimately hacked into your phone and did this thing?
That's what I believe. Now, it could very well fall into Colquitt.
Well, speaking of, funny you say that. Joining us right now, ladies and gentlemen, Dustin Colquitt.
Yeah! There you go.
Buddy! He said he will not prank Adam LaRoche ever again because he has too many friends too high up that hacked into his phone and did this entire thing alongside the help of Matt Light. Do you have any more information that you can kind of reveal about this well-executed prank?
I think who did the hack, was J&C Firewall, is this company that Adam told me about. So the long snapper, Jay, which is the J&C, James and Colquitt, took over the prank, got into Anthony Sherman's phone on a series of Monday nights when we were hanging out, got the code, kept running it every time they'd be out at practice. We were making sure that we had the correct numbers. He never changed it. It was very consistent, so we got in it. We got into his Twitter account, hit send.
At that point, I had already seen that you tweeted something out about it, so I'm like, oh, this is a lost cause. I'm just
Not just me, by the way. Thibault, Tim
beautiful-
Thibault.
Yeah.
Big names were sending this out. They were like, what a hero.
James Winchester, hanging out at Sherm's house, acted like his phone died, so he needed Sherm's phone. Sherm threw the phone. It was not on, so he said, Sherm, I need to call her back. Give me the code. He spit it out, and boom.
James Winchester is Danny Ocean. And the real hero of this whole thing, the Shermanator, is doing a great thing to raise a lot of money for human trafficking awareness and to end that whole thing. What a hero you are.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. You wanted that truck forever, huh?
I wanted it forever.
How did you know Red 18 was coming?
Pat, I mean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you telling that story and just growing the legend. That was about the 18th time I tried it. I was 17 going into that. And, you know, when it doesn't hit, you just keep walking. Nobody ever really tells you about it. So when it hit, I was as surprised as you were. And the reaction from some of the good old folks there in the casino that night was pretty special.
Well, I appreciate you doing that. You made me and those folks in the casino a bunch of money. Congrats on the Hall of Fame nod. Thank you for spending time. Enjoy yourself at the game, Peyton.
Pat, thanks, pal. I appreciate you.
The Sheriff Hall of Famer, Peyton Manning.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back here at Hour 3, the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk sitting in for him. If you have not seen the first couple hours, a lot of big breaking news has happened. There's for Pat. There it is.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
There it is.
Hell yeah.
Woo. Don't know the name of who it does any of this. I just watch Pat.
Dude.
This is when I usually come on the show, so I have to watch Pat pause like that. But so Carson Wentz, big news, happened right before the show, right before we came on the air. Carson Wentz is traded to the Indianapolis Colts, making Pat McAfee the happiest man alive today for a third rounder in 2021 and a second rounder that's conditional in 2022 that could become a first rounder if he plays, 75% of the snaps?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So if he's healthy, that should be a first rounder.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no reason, if he's healthy, that he plays less than 75% of the snaps coming up. Or 70% and the team makes the playoffs. Whatever. If he's healthy, they should get it. They should get a first-round pick, and then it's a good move for him, huh?
Unless he's healthy and he turns out to still stink.
You don't think they'd give him a full year?
Unless he's still running into his own O-lineman again.
They got Jacob Eason. Give
There's
him
no
a shot.
way. There's
Is
no
Eason
way.
going to be the backup, or they try and bring Jacoby back for another year?
I mean, I like Jacoby, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I still think Jacoby could be a starter.
He was very good in that 1 year before he got hurt.
He's kind of been screwed over by them at this point, though. I wouldn't want to fucking stick around if I were him.
I doubt he
Be
wants
a stopgap guy again.
No, yeah, he probably doesn't want to, but there's no way Carson Wentz doesn't get a full season to show what he has. To say, hey, I'm not broken. You think they would pull him like, okay, 9 games in, things aren't going well, you think they're going to bench him?
But then if you look at it, if it doesn't work out, are him and Frank gone? Because Irsay already said that it was his choice to bring in Rivers. And they had a chance at Brady.
What about Ballard? Did they put it on Ballard too?
No, Ballard's good.
He's good to go.
Especially after this trade. I mean, they obviously won it. He fleeced him. Like that caller said, they did. They didn't have to give up a first for him.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked that this happened. That's all they had to give up to get Carson Wentz. It sounded like didn't the Eagles originally say we need 2 first rounders?
Oh yeah, Stafford deal.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. How much better is Wentz than Goff? Because the Rams gave us Goff, and we're like, we'll give you a first-round pick just to take him. Like, is he really that much better?
I don't know. That's my question. Like, they're kind of similar. I feel like at
That's
times.
what I think.
My only fear with Goff is you look at how he was with McVay. if he doesn't have McVay by his side, I'm worried about what he looks like.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, that's the thing. That's obviously McVay soured on Goff, didn't think he was the guy that he wanted him to be, or he could be that franchise guy. But you're right, though. A lot of the stuff that is set up, McVay he's a little mad genius, a little offensive genius that dreams of route combinations, how to beat this look, how to beat too high, single high, all this stuff. So without him, what does he look like? I don't know. And especially a Detroit Lions team that's in a full rebuild right now.
Yeah, and who knows if they have Marvin Jones or Galladay. Like, you look at the weapons that the Rams have versus what the Lions might have. And I think for the trade, it's more about how bad the contracts were, though. Like, Goff and Wentz, their contracts are both dog shit. So you got to give up all that stuff just to get rid of them.
Well, and especially if you're the Rams and you have had multiple contracts, the Gurley situation, all of it, they have no picks. Yeah. They have. When's their next first round pick coming up? Do we know?
2023, I think. Jeez.
They need to work some magic to get up there in 2021, get one in 2022, get some kind of first round pick. I don't know what the future. I guess it's just, hey, live for today. Let's try to live right now. Let's try to make it happen. Don't worry about the future. Past doesn't exist. The future isn't happened yet, right? What's that saying?
Oh, yeah.
The old cliche Ty always tells me. What is it, Ty?
Yeah, you nailed it. You actually hit the nail right on the head with that.
Slaughtered
it.
But isn't this why Jerry Jones keeps franchise tagging Dak, though? Because he's scared of this happening? You paid Goff and Wentz before you needed to, and it completely backfired.
Yeah, but did you see earlier they're talking, hey, if they franchise Dak, he goes with $37 million this year guaranteed. That takes up like 21% of the cap potentially.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that? Would you do that?
For Dak?
If you're Jerry Jones, would you do that for Dak?
I mean, the issue is the years, right?
Yeah.
The 4 and 5. Dak wants 4 so he can re-up again, and Jerry keeps saying 5.
Well, if you're not, there's obviously Jerry's not 100% sold that Dak is the guy, or he's worried about his injury, coming back fully healthy. That might be it. But if you are sold that this is your guy, this is my franchise quarterback, you're going to give him that deal because, like we said before, the longer you wait, the higher that price tag is for quarterbacks. And I don't know, man. Dak's he's kind of in a weird spot. Obviously, a great spot to be in. Going to make a ton of money.
Yeah.
But he wants to come out and win the MVP this year, I would bet. I would think, well, he'll be in Dallas. They got to get a deal
that
done.
Team stinks. So,
J.J. Watt to Dallas. I heard that rumor.
Really?
Anyone else hear that? What do you think?
That'd be awesome.
I mean, McCarthy could get anybody in there with his reach.
You're right. You're right. This is correct, Gumpy. Even the Canadian knows this. I'm impressed. What about Von Miller? You think they're going to pick up his option? That's another big thing that could happen. The Broncos, if they don't pick up his option for $18 million, he could be an unrestricted free agent, which I think he'll still get a big deal.
There's so many fascinating players out there now. Like, you look at Miller and Watt already, and there's going to be more coming out in the days.
People forget that Von Miller absolutely took over the Super Bowl. How many years ago was that?
2015.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's longer than I thought. But how good was he? How good was that whole defense to begin with? Wasn't Wade Phillips? He was the D coordinator then in Denver, wasn't he?
I think so.
I think he was because I'm just putting it together. I'm just I'm in a grocery aisle, just running down the store, just grabbing things. I'm just grabbing things. Whatever Pat says, we're just grabbing things off the shelf, and I don't know what I said. You get so I can't mention things around me. But I think because Marcus Peters, who also played for Wade Phillips, the Rams.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I've been very intrigued by Wade Phillips over the years. I know he wants to get back into coaching. I know my buddy, General Bob Carpenter, played for Wade when he was the head coach of Dallas. Loved him. He said everybody on the team said, hey, we got to win, and we want to keep this dude around because he is the man. They love Wade Phillips. I know guys that played for him when he was a coordinator. They loved him as well. We'll see what Marcus thinks of that. But, Zito, I know we had a YouTube poll going out there today.
Oh, yeah.
What are the results?
So the poll today is who won the Carson Wentz trade? Eagles 30%, Colts 70%.
How do we know yet? Do we know?
We don't.
We don't. Okay, I think that is if Carson Wentz becomes the Carson Wentz
If he
once
plays
was.
good, yeah.
2017 Wentz.
So then does Jalen Hurts need to turn into like a top 5 quarterback?
To win the NFC East, probably not. I mean, shit, they might go 500 and win it.
Yeah.
In that
You
division,
look at
it's
the
different.
quarterbacks in that division.
Let's go through them. Who do they have in the NFC East
Well,
right now?
who's Washington's quarterback right now? Heineke's
Yeah,
their starter.
Heineken.
Gumpy, transition. We're going away from the NFC East quarterbacks. I'm going to this thing right here. The ESPN, their predictions for the starting quarterbacks. Beautiful transition. They call that in the radio game right now. Take that to broadcast boot camp. They'll show
Well done.
you.
Hell yeah.
Transition off of Gumpy's comment. NFC East, we're not worried about it right now. We'll get to that. Pat will get to that Monday. But you know what? ESPN, they predicted starting quarterbacks for the 2021 NFL season. I want to go through a few of them. I don't know if we have a graphic or not. But the first two, Rams, Lions, Stafford, Goff, they're already there. We know that. Jaguars, they're saying Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
Makes sense. I think so. We saw Urban standing 6 inches away from Trevor Lawrence during his pro day the other day. Looks good for them. The Saints, Jameis Winston. You guys think that's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you look at like the questions around what the offseason is going to be, you might as well have a guy who's already been there, knows the offense, doesn't have to come in and learn a whole new set of plays, scheme, all that shit. So you might as well just keep him for a year. Probably get him on the cheap, too.
Okay, let's say he has a slow start out of the gates. How fast does Taysom Hill come in?
The gadget guy? I mean, can you take him away as a wide receiver? I mean, that might be Jimmy's number one weapon going into the season.
Okay, here we go. The next one, though. Carolina Panthers, Deshaun Watson. I know there's been talk of this. Is that a real possibility?
It seems like they were shopping McCaffrey, is what it felt like.
But there's no way that's going to happen.
Give him a
that McCaffrey's gone?
They're not going to package McCaffrey and like 2 first-round picks for Deshaun. It's just not going to happen.
You look at your football team with Watson and McCaffrey. You're not going to get rid of McCaffrey.
Especially since Matt Rule said when he got the job, like, I can't wait to build this offense around my running back, which doesn't really happen. It's always built around the quarterback.
Yeah, he also got the job, signed Teddy Bridgewater to a 3-year, $60 million deal, and now he already wants to get rid of him after 1 year without McCaffrey. So
it's a cold game. It really is. Okay, the Patriots. Here you go. Okay, Connor, what do you think? Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, look at that. You know, we're definitely going to
I'm sold after watching him come in for Derek Carr when he popped his groin. Was it his groin? Calf, whatever it was. Yeah. Marcus came out like he was on fire. He was pissed. I loved watching. He's like, all right, I'm back on the field. I'm going to kill everybody. I'm taking names. They didn't win the game, but I thought he looked good.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. I mean, I don't know if one game warrants a $10 million contract as a backup.
I think Mitch Trubisky for you guys would be absolutely amazing.
I could see Mitch.
They'll run it back with Cam, I think. No. Same price tag.
Yeah, and then you also signed some weapons. I mean, he was throwing to goddamn nobody. You got to give him a tight end.
He did look good on those skates in the roller rink.
He was
at that price. How could you not?
I mean, yeah, maybe. What about Edelman though? Edelman, they're talking that he may not be back.
Yeah, he might be a cap casualty, but with the extra $5 million, I mean that covers him just from that bonus money. So you might as well keep him around.
I would
sign
like
Hunter Henry. You know,
if Edelman wants to stay there, I would like to see him in New England. I don't want to see him leaving after a year that he barely played and he was hurt. And
go to Tampa.
What's his injury? Oh, he
you think
tried.
Bill wants another one of Tom's buddies hanging around the building? He wants.
You're probably right. Yeah. You're probably right. Like, what if like Edelman's leaving the facility one day and he just happens to get a FaceTime from Tom? And Bill is like in the hallway and he just sees it and peeks around the corner at him.
Bill, check it out. Bill, say hi. Tom's on.
And it's like the winter in New England and Tom's on this $2 million boat as he's FaceTiming. Like, come on, Jules, come on down, man. The weather's great. Oh man, Bill would be so good.
Especially when they were celebrating and everything. You gotta know that Edelman had a little bit of FOMO after playing.
Well, we all did. Didn't everybody watching the boat parade? Like everyone's like, man, that sure would be awesome. Like, wouldn't this be amazing? And think if you were a Patriots player that played with Tom the year before that, or you're a coach, like, man, look how much fun Tom's having. This is like watching my wife with another dude. Yeah, like that's basically what it is, right?
Oh yeah, it's brutal.
That's tough. Some guys are into it, though, Connor. You know that, right?
Oh, is that right?
Like,
is that something you?
No, sir. No, sir. No judgment on anybody that does whatever they want to do.
Some people aren't.
Some people aren't. You're right, Gump. I don't know how Canadians feel about it.
Yeah, well, I think there's another layer to that joke, AJ.
That went way over my head. Way over my head. You know what? I'm not here every day, guys. I apologize for that. I'm going to the next team, Washington football team. I'll figure that one out off air. The Washington football team, Ryan Fitzmagic. Is that a real?
Yeah, well, they just signed Heineke to
ice cold Heineken
2-year, $9 million.
You can still get Fitzpatrick in there.
Yeah,
and plus Heineke
good mentor
under Fitzmagic. Yeah, he might turn into goddamn Cam Newton.
Okay, Texans. They're saying Justin Fields. Where are they picking? What's their spot?
They don't have a first-round pick. They gave it to the Dolphins.
So how are they getting Justin Fields?
They're assuming with the trade with the Panthers. I think, on this little...
getting the number 8 overall.
I didn't do a deep dive into this list until about 3 minutes ago before we came back. The Jets are saying Zach Wilson. The Jets are picking number 2, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying they would take Zach Wilson number 2?
Some people saying Zach Wilson might go number 1.
Over Trevor.
Yeah.
Who started that? They're saying, like, oh, it's very comparable. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, they're putting them like in the same category.
I mean, I don't know. Do you think it's someone trying to act like the shoulder surgery is a bigger deal and that maybe like
on his non-throwing arm?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? They severed a tendon in his shoulder and he might not be able to play next year.
Okay.
So they're trying to get, Jacksonville to pass on him.
I mean, if it's okay, let's say you do jump out and you take Zach Wilson, number 1 overall, over Trevor Lawrence. If Zach Wilson becomes an absolute monster and he is a stud for 12 to 15 years, then you look like the smartest person ever to live.
Yeah.
Chances are Trevor Lawrence is going to have a hell of a career.
Pretty good.
I'm not saying Zach Wilson's not, but I just think it's tough to pass on Trevor Lawrence if you're in this spot right now. I don't know. I don't think I could do it. I'd have to watch more stuff on Zach Wilson and talk to everybody, but that's just not something I see happening. But the last one on this list, I don't know, Zito. I don't know if you're upset or not. You're saying the Bears have Sam Darnold. Are we saying Mitch is out?
Yeah, Mitch is out. I think Jimmy G comes back home.
I think
he comes back home.
Really?
Open the doors, let him in.
Well, you got to add the Steelers to that list now too. If they're getting rid of Ben, Darnold could be a great fit.
Mitch
in Pittsburgh.
Trubisky to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Very good. I think you should.
That'd be awesome.
I think we should do that.
Give him number 7. He's so athletic, though, Nick. You've
Very
seen him. What
athletic.
about get him outside the pocket, get him moving early?
Listen, we signed that bum Dewey Haskins for like $800,000. We don't need to bring Mitch Trubisky. We'll just let Dewey run around for his life.
I guess you don't want to win a Super Bowl over there.
Hey, where is Mitch going to be? Where is Mitch going to play?
I think
next
New
year?
England. I honestly believe that.
Jeez, why?
I have a feeling.
Why not?
I mean, why not? Yeah, we're all just guessing right now. Anyway,
Yeah.
nobody knows what's going to happen. But is there a chance Deshaun Watson is in Houston though? I don't know why. I have to know. Like I just want to know. Like it seems like it's broken. It's not going to be able to be recovered. But there's a chance I think in my eyes that hey, he's not going to be able to get rid of him.
It also seems like at this point, guys can just like bitch and be like, "Hey, get me out of here," and then eventually it just does happen. Like
And if you're a team, you don't want to set that precedent. You don't want anyone to be able to do that.
But
really.
I mean, every guy they fire is like one of like Deshaun Watson's closest confidants. Like if they are trying to mend the situation, it certainly doesn't look like they're trying very hard.
Watson's personal QB coach tweeted during the breakout, what's the criteria for a quarterback asking to get traded, then actually getting traded, asking for a friend? So he's still not happy. He wants out.
Oh, he definitely wants out. I mean,
here's the thing,
I don't
AJ.
know.
Think about this. If that situation came to be and he is under center for them to start the season and things go poorly, what do you think happens? What's the public perception of that franchise? They're going to start criticizing Watson's body language. He's going to be taking all kinds of heat because he doesn't want to be there. People are going to start turning on him. Like, there's no good reason to keep him there.
And that
against his will.
And you're not. If you want to trade him, his value is going to go down too. If he's not playing well, if you're going to question how much he wants to be there. So yeah, it's a lose-lose.
And what you could get from the Jets or the Dolphins pre-draft, you're not going to get again. You're going to get first-rounders, and you're going to get Tua or Darnold. So you're going to get a quarterback in return.
Yeah. Could this be a situation where it doesn't happen until draft day or draft night, where he's part of deal? You know how like the Patriots are always Patriots love to trade veterans away like on draft day. They have over the years. I know Vrabel was a draft day trade to the Chiefs back in the day. Things like that. Could we see Deshaun Watson? Could it take until that long, up until the draft? What is it, end of April? Where is the draft? Is it still at home this year? Do we know?
I don't know if they made – because it was in Vegas, and then they scrapped that.
It's supposed to be in Cleveland this year, but I don't know what the protocols and what
Mhm.
everything's going to be.
Well, I guess, it's late enough. It'd be warm enough to be there.
The website still says Cleveland, Ohio.
I hope Raj is going to be in his basement in the couch, right, with the M&Ms.
He will be.
Or though, if they're in Cleveland, they'll put a little backstage setup that looks just like his basement. So he goes, hey, this is my friendly confines here, right?
This is my couch.
Green room.
With Darnold, because of how many guys have left Gase and been successful, like, wouldn't you just give him another year because he's still on his rookie contract? There's really nothing to lose, and you can still draft a quarterback at 2.
I guess.
If he sucks.
You mentioning Adam Gase, I thought for a second you were going to say, shouldn't we just give Adam Gase another chance at head coaching position?
No, well, I would
thought
love
you were
that.
going there.
I would love to see
Would you?
Gase. Yeah, the storylines Gase gets to be a part of are awesome.
Where is Gase living right now, you think? Where does he stay? Like, it would be tough. Like, I know Mike McCarthy, he gets fired in Green Bay. His wife's there. His young kids are there. He stayed there the whole season when he had his whole football operation that he set up himself. It would be weird, man, when you got fired, especially a place where everybody knows you, wherever you go, to be just getting fired. Then all of a sudden the team's playing amazing. It's like bittersweet. Like, man, those are my guys. They're doing well, but I'm not there. I just think it'd be hard for a head coach to be stuck in the city where you just got fired from.
Unless it's, New York,
Then nobody cares about anybody, right?
That's what I'm saying. He's got a really nice house, I'm sure, nice spot.
Go in the city, you can still wear your mask because of COVID. You don't have to worry about people yelling at you.
No one even knows it's him.
That's a good point. I wouldn't want to be there. I wouldn't want to stay in the town. Man, if I was the head coach, I thought about that when I knew McCarthy had to stay. not fun. But hey, you know what? JJ Watt, Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Big market, huge, everyone, international team, international brand. How many JJ Watt Dallas Cowboy jerseys would they sell?
Oh, millions.
He would have his own talk show.
To the big market, though.
For like the Cowboys website or somewhere else?
Probably on national television.
Really?
Yeah.
JJ would? Well,
Big Texas
it
TV.
could go hand in hand with the dodgeball show or whatever they did.
Tag.
Tag. Oh, you know it's tag.
Ultimate tag.
You're right, I did. You're right, I did. Z.
If he's going after a big market, why doesn't he go to like L.A. though and partner with Aaron Donald?
Maybe he will.
Because especially with 20 or 5 more million, I think they got like
You know what?
Chicago. Yeah.
What do you know what? JJ goes to LA, the Rams, and then guess what? Von Miller says, hey, I'm coming to the Rams too.
Fuck it.
When they don't pick up my option. Good luck completing a ball on us. We got the biggest savage pass rushers on the planet, and Jalen Ramsey's over here playing corner.
Jeez.
Man, we're putting a lot of scenarios together that I think would be beautiful.
I wouldn't worry about it. He's coming to Pittsburgh. He tweeted out a video earlier of TJ Watt shoveling his driveway.
That's tampering, by the way.
He's coming with his brother.
That's
JJ tweeted that.
Yeah.
That's real recruiting.
JJ, wait, was TJ shoveling JJ's driveway?
Yeah.
You look like you.
And his front walkway.
It's the youngest brother. I'm the youngest of 3 boys. I get it. They make you do those kind of things. My brother just didn't have social media to take pictures of me and put it out there. But you know what? We're going to hit another break here before.
Did they recruit you to Cincy? Is that what you're saying? Is that why you went there?
Yeah, Marvin actually came and he plowed my driveway for me.
Wow.
I had a great snowblower. I was so impressed how many the horsepower. So yeah, I said I'm on, coach. I'm in there.
Wow.
I'm coming, yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah, it was a really fun experience. Look at this. Free agency is wild.
I mean, that's a Mickey Mouse effort, shoveling.
Bend your knees.
Yeah,
Low
you're
pad level, am I right?
Be careful. Don't hurt your back.
Is that a Labradoodle in the back?
I believe so.
Or a golden doodle?
Might be a retriever.
It's mixed with doodle though, because with poodle, because that's a big thing.
It has that goofy look.
Hypoallergenic hair, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's what I have, a golden doodle.
Oh, you do? Yeah, those are very popular. I bet they're hard to get right now during COVID.
That's why, because they don't shed. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Let's go.
Better
Big
clean
dog
that,
show.
That long hair on the face gets all crusty and garbage. And all right, hey, after this, Marcus Peters, the great one, will be with us here after the break. We come back. We're also going to get to some more phone calls, hit some more of the big-time situations and topics happening throughout the league and all of professional sports. Stay right there. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
Hello and welcome to Office Championship Wrestling live in Indianapolis, Indiana. Tonight we have a straight to hell match in which the Devil will battle against our Office wrestler, Dylan Boston. You might be wondering how we got here. Let's find out right now.
And now we have to make a deal with the Devil.
Yeah, no big deal. Classic trial by combat situation. We got our champion, Dylan Bostic. All he's got to do, win the match, 1, 2, 3, and we're home safe.
The only man that would take the job to protect us from the Devil himself, Dylan Boston.
Like you mentioned, Pat, there's probably about 5 or 6 other guys we'd rather have in this position, but we'll take Bostic, I guess.
Not only are all of our souls on the line, the Office Championship Wrestling Championship, presented by Natural Light, is also on the line.
Jesus, the Devil's trying to put Bostic right to hell!
I do not want to go to
God,
hell!
no!
Don't do
Good
it!
God, no! Come on, Bostic, Pat!
Oh, no! Oh, my...
I'll see you in hell, Pat. The goddamn Easter Bunny's out here! What the hell's he doing here?
The Easter Bunny is obviously here to help Dylan Bostic. Wait a minute. No!
Oh, no!
The Easter Bunny's been on the Devil's side this whole time. Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ!
What the hell's Jesus Christ doing here?
The power of Christ is compelling Dylan Bostic.
Look at this, Pat! Jesus Christ is bringing Bostic back to life! Jesus is going insane! And now Bostic's kicking wholesale ass in the ring!
Jesus Christ has come to help Dylan Bostic defeat the Devil and defeat the Easter Bunny. What's gonna happen here?
Good God Almighty, it looks like he's going up in the scissor lift!
Jesus is lifting the scissor lift! Jesus is now telling Bostic to come down.
Don't do it, Bostic! Don't do it! Oh my God! Bostic's dead! He's dead! You can't tell from home, but that scissor lift is about 8 stories up, Pat!
80 feet in the air! Oh, devil!
Super kick! Into the casket! The devil goes down! The devil goes down!
He shuts the casket!
Straight
back to hell! The devil goes straight back to hell, where he belongs!
With the assist from Jesus Christ of Nazareth!
Dylan Bostic saves the PMI office's souls and wins the OCW championship right here on our first OCW Straight to Hell.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Here we go. Everybody knows CBDMD is very, very good, and they love to support the show, and we always appreciate that. But we all know football season might be over. March Madness is just around the corner, guys. And that means it's time to bet large amounts of money on teams that you've never watched.
Hell yeah.
But instead of losing sleep over creating the perfect bracket or convincing yourself that Baylor is good enough to win it all, but they might be, team up with our good friends at CBDMD to get the quality sleep you need to feel your best every day. CBD PM blends sleep-promoting ingredients like melatonin, valerian root, and chamomile with 500 milligrams of high-quality CBD to create a powerful and effective sleep aid. And guess what?
What's that?
You love CBD.
To help you feel even better, CBDMD is offering all our listeners 25% off your next order when you use the code McAfee at checkout. Once again, that's CBDMD.com, promo code McAfee, MCAFEE, for 25% off your purchase of superior CBD products from CBDMD. Welcome back. This is the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk, sitting in for Pat as he is on a little trip. But I want to get to our next guest quickly because this guy absolutely makes plays all over the field. He seems to get interceptions every single time you watch this guy play, and a lot of times he's putting that in the end zone for pick sixes, which he has 6 of them already in his short career, I feel like. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Marcus Peters to the show. Marcus, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing cool, man. Chilling at the house right now. I can't complain.
Yeah,
How you doing, big dog?
Oh, I'm doing great. Sorry, I'm sitting in for Pat today. I'm looking at the wrong camera multiple times, so I'm going to try to make sure I look at you, Marcus. You looking good? What are you wearing?
Good.
You wearing? Is that a hoodie? Is that a Snuggie? What is that?
You know, I got my little tie-dye little hoodie Snuggie thing.
Yeah.
Doing something.
You look very, very comfortable. I'm jealous a little bit. Pat keeps his studio about 22 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's pretty chilly in here for all of us.
You should be used to it, though, man. You was up in Green Bay. You should be used to it, big dog.
You're okay. That's a question I have for you. I know you haven't always played in cold places, but in Baltimore, I know it gets cold. I know, at least for myself personally, people always said, hey, man, did you just thrive and love the cold? I felt like as I got older, maybe I just knew what to expect, but the cold was worse for me. Like, I think I knew what to expect. I didn't handle it as well as I did when I was young. Like, how do you handle it?
I think we all hate that shit, man. Let's just be honest. We hate that shit. But it got cold as shit when I was in KC, man. We played in some freezing cold games, and when that ground frozen, big dog, that shit ain't nothing nice.
How do you feel? Do you feel like when it's cold like that, do you as a DB have an advantage any more than you normally would if it was warm?
Oh, you got to expect tips and overthrows, man. That's going to happen. Fingertips is out there frozen. You feel me? Quarterbacks is going to try to get it in regardless. So they got to be ready, and we got to be ready for them tips and overthrows. Because let that jam finger hit for me come across in that freezing cold, it's a lot of picks we can get.
Hey, does play calling ever change defensively with the weather? You say tips and overthrows. I instantly think like, hey, I want to be playing more zone then because I want to be able to, my eyes on the QB. I want to see that ball so I can go after it if it does get tipped.
I mean, for the biggest part, it kind of does change the game plan a little bit because we're expecting a lot more runs and a lot more play action deep shots because that's going to pretty much going to be the only time that they can really attack us. Quick game is going to be happening, but like I say, that's where them tips and overthrows come. If we playing tight man, tight zone coverage, we can try to get them tips and overthrows with quarterbacks trying to hit them gaps.
That's right. Hey, something that everybody on this show loved, Marcus, was you get a pick, you seal the game. Tennessee, you run out there to the middle of the field, and all your defense, all your boys come join you. I guess, was that something you thought about beforehand? I know some of your teammates said, hey, I just kind of went along for it, and they all had your back. I loved watching it. Is that something you seem to plan a little bit, or just like you envision yourself getting a pick to end the game?
No, not really. You feel me? I plan on getting a pick that game for sure. My opportunities was a little short. I thought I could have got one play. He ran a double move on me with Brown, and he kind of threw it back shoulder. And so I had my opportunities to give me some picks that game. But to be honest, man, that whole little incident happened just how it occurred. You feel me? We all felt that they was being disrespectful as fuck to us the first time when they played us at the house. So we took that shit personal, and we knew what type of game it was going to be going into it. And like I say, man, it just so happened it had to be me to do it. You feel me? And I feel like my dogs was ready to ride with me anytime, any moment for me, what was going on that day. So they had to get it, man. You feel me? You do it to us, you got to get it done to you.
Do you guys thrive on that in Baltimore? Do you thrive on that kind of having some personal stuff going back and forth? We know with the head coaches and everything. Like, it seems like you guys are energized by that.
I mean, that's the real beauty of the game. You feel me? I think all real football players kind of accept and kind of love that shit talking aspect of the game, as we will call it. But it has that flavor to it, man, and I think it fit Baltimore perfect.
You got to come.
Yeah, Marcus, I read that you were actually a kicker in high school as well as a plethora of other positions. Have you tried to kick an extra point in the NFL a la Ocho Cinco, or have you put those days behind?
I can't do that shit. I ain't going to even lie to you. Not right now. I'm old school, heel toe, you feel me? I'm going to go straight with it. The way them league balls is right now, you feel me? I ain't got it with the big toe no more.
Did you do pump, pass, and kick ever as a kid?
Nah, I couldn't throw for shit, so I kind of stayed out of it.
Do you think most DBs can or cannot throw the ball?
You know, it's so crazy. It's a few of them that can probably throw the rock for sure. I unfortunately got a little ass hand, so I can't really grip the ball as well as people with bigger hands than me. So I'm gonna throw ducks regardless.
Yeah. Hey, so you played for Wade Phillips at the Rams, right? What is he like? He seems like such an interesting guy.
OG, man, he a Hall of Fame coach regardless in my book, man. The way he know the game, the way he studied the game, the way he had us prepared every week, and just the flavor that he bring, you feel me? That's OG Wade, you feel me? He come to practice, and all he wants you to do is bust your ass and work, and everything else should be taken care of by him, like he was safe. I mean, all mistakes, you can put them on me, and I just want y'all to go out there and play free and fast.
Gumpy, you got something?
Yeah, Marcus, you played with Jared Goff with the Rams. How do you think he'll fare in Detroit?
I think Jared's going to be fine, man. I think all Jared got to do is just continue to get better like we all do. You know, take the good for the good, the bad for the bad, man. The situation, it was unfortunate, you know, that it had to happen like that. But, like, it's the business, man. You can't take nothing personal. You just got to go your butt to work and just be willing to get better, man. Take on new challenges. And, you know, he's going to be able to be an awesome leader for that team, though.
So we hear that a lot. Like, yeah, it's a business. Don't take things personal. But how do you not take it personal? I know it is a business.
So you do take that shit personal, but only when you play them.
Okay. So you use it.
You get their ass the ass whipping on the field. You play to that high standard that you're supposed to play at, or that they felt you couldn't play at, and you hold that to be personal. But other than that, you handle your business, man, because we know how it is. People got their opinions about you, and it's gonna change every day. If you're doing good, they're gonna love you. If you're doing bad, they're gonna hate you.
So how good does it feel to actually play those guys and use that and make plays on them?
That shit feel real good. Like baby.
So what's the rest of your offseason look like? Obviously a little different. You don't really know what the schedule looks like. Do you have contact with your coaches? Like, what do they say the next thing for you guys is going to be?
Pretty much right now, we got a little group chat going on, and we just get information sent from coach every now and then, and just keep in contact from that way. But for me, man, I'm about to just get back into the normal routine, get my body right, doing some yoga, some stretching, and just getting back into the routine.
Has how you kind of handle yourself physically and mentally, I guess, in the offseason, has that changed much since you entered the league?
I ain't gonna lie. I low key had a little cheat code to even how for me coming into the league for taking care of my body. I lived with Marshawn my last year at UW, so you feel me going through that process of watching him take care of his body, of him going out there getting 15, 16 carries, and then you feel me coming home and then watching this whole routine of how he get his body back, into condition for Sunday. I just kept on the routine when I first got into it. Keep my mind and my body right, and we'll be fine.
Marcus, are there any players or teams where you are like, all right, I got to turn up the shit talk today, or are you always just barking at the other guys?
Nah, to be honest, I'm talking shit to everybody, man. Don't nobody get no special treatment.
Hey, Marcus, what's the most frustrating thing if you are talking to somebody? Like, is it more frustrating when someone just is silent and doesn't say anything back, or like what do you dislike?
It's the nice guy, man. It's the one who just gonna shoot it to you in the most nicest way, and it's like, man, just say something back. Just talk the shit.
Who's
and
nice?
It just don't happen.
You have an example of a couple guys like that?
Ooh, see,
like we had
Julian Edelman is like that. But then Jules gonna talk his shit though. He gonna throw his little 1-2 punches in on you on the under. But Jules is like that a little bit. Nah, not too many, man. I kind of come across some real good dogs, man. So they usually talk this shit back.
I'm sure it seems like there's mutual respect back and forth during the game. You definitely. You have 31 career interceptions, which is unbelievable already, and you seem to score on a lot of those. And you're not scared to take chances and jump routes. And I was trying to explain earlier to guys, like, I'm sure when you do take chances, it's because you've watched those plays 1,000 times on film. You know the situations they like to do this and do that. And so you're like, okay, this is my opportunity where I can step out and take a chance. Like, is that something you've always had? And how do you do that going forward? Because people know, hey, this is a guy, like, you got to be worried about him because he's gonna go up and snatch the ball and he's probably gonna take it for 6.
Man, to be honest, man, it started with me young, man. Pops just always told us not to play scared, man. We going out there to play football, and it's a game, man. And once we done with that football game, whatever you did on that field, it's left on the field. It ain't going. You don't not supposed to take the shit personal. You feel me? So I just go out there, play fast, play free. You feel me? If I done did my homework and studied, then why shouldn't I not take this risk? Because if I take this risk and we get a high reward, everybody gonna be cheering. But you feel me? If I take the risk and I get beat or something like that, I'm not the one to come back and just point fingers at nobody. I'm gonna own up for my motherfucking mistakes, and then we gonna make the steps properly to advance further during the game. You feel me? And then later on, if I see the next thing, you feel me? If I see that same example again, y'all run it again, I got you.
Hey, what's the most frustrating thing for you? Say you're watching a college game or an NFL game on TV. You see a DB get beat deep. You see like a blown coverage. Would you? One thing I've always, the old fake hamstring pull is always good. Guy gets beat, you got to pull up, fake hammy, or the guys who palms up and look around. Like I know coaches like, hey, I don't want to see palms up like this, looking around like, oh, what's going on here, bud? When usually it's the guy that got beat doing it. Like, what's the most frustrating for you to see?
It will be that, because at the end of the day, we out there as a group. You feel me? Yeah. We got five to six dudes who out there trying to provide for their family. You feel me? We out there. Sometimes people gonna mess up. We not gonna be perfect. We trying to work to be perfect, but every play we can't be perfect because we plan to get some professionals on the other side too. So we got to respect that also. You feel me? So just take the ownership, man. We come back in because when we sit down in the meetings together, we gonna see everybody fuck up. You feel me? We ain't gonna just see yours. We gonna see everybody's, and we want everybody to take the same amount of accountability towards they messing up.
Hey, is John Harbaugh what you thought he was gonna be when you got there?
Yeah, everything. You feel me? I remember meeting Harbaugh coming out for the draft, and I remember the whole little trip there. And Harbaugh was just rowdy and feisty dude, but also understood the family aspects of being so in tune for a football family, but then also the other side of it. You know, he the way he treats his family with his daughter and stuff like that. That shit is intriguing. You feel me? Because he comes to work and he instills that back into us to see the relationship that he has with the guys that's in our locker room. It's 100. You feel me?
Is that something that is common around the league? I guess, like you said, it's you see it and like it inspires you to see how he treats his family, how he can still be a great coach and a great leader. Is like, I think people would be surprised that it's not as common as they would think.
To be honest, it's really not. You feel me? Because some coaches they don't really own up for they mess ups. You feel me? They sometimes are pointed at the players. You feel me? And then we see certain situations happen in this league as trades come start happening, and the player get blamed first before the coach end up taking some ownership for himself. You feel me? Because the coaches sometimes can help that player if they step out a little bit further. And on the other side for us, we as players, we looking for that. You feel me? Not saying that we want somebody that's gonna baby us and do things like that, but we looking for somebody who's willing to take that extra time to sit down and talk it up with me about if I'm messing up in the same zone, or if I'm having hard times off the field. You feel me? Take the little 5 minutes. It don't got to be a whole spiel, but just check up on me and do those small things, because I'm coming to work every day busting my tail for 6 to 7 months away from my family, and you doing the same. You feel me? Everybody go through things, and life ain't perfect. So we all need those people to talk to. You feel me? And then you look at it on the field, you see the teams who play like that because they playing together. You feel me? You see the whole unity, the thing working. You feel me? It's the team flow. It ain't just a team full of athletic guys who can be superstars one week and then fall off the next.
Connor?
Marcus, there's a story online about you almost burning down Marshawn Lynch's house. What happened there?
All right, so that shit is true. I was coming home from my baby shower for my first son, and I was going back to school in Seattle, and I had came home with some lumpias, and I had just on some chilling shit on the weekend, on Sunday, matter of fact. I just got back, and I'm just chilling, bro, and I ended up turning on the little movie, went up in there, and I fell asleep because I got back probably like midday. I fell asleep, and the grease was on, and shit, by then, there's black smoke flowing through the house. I ran downstairs to get my Uncle Lee, and we started trying to put that thing out. That shit ain't nothing to play with, though, bro. For real, fire is scary as fuck, man.
Yeah, I'd say so. So how did it end? Was there a lot of damage? How did it end?
It ended up with our kitchen. Everything in our kitchen was damaged. You feel me? We ended up having to get new stove, new oven, new little counter, all that little shit. Wow. The shit was black. The whole kitchen was black for like a whole month.
How did Marshawn respond?
Damn, they was coming back from I want to play. They said they played Washington that week or something like that, and they was coming back home, and they had just got off the bus like late that night. Like, bruh, the house black. The house was on fire, bruh. Like, what? I'm like, the house is on fire. He like, quit playing, bruh. I'm like, nah, for real, blood. You feel me? The house is on fire. Like, you have to put that thing out. You feel me? By the time he got to the house, he's seeing the whole aftermath. Me and my uncle, we all blacked up, smoked up, and you feel me? The fire department leaving as he coming back. You feel me? It was bad. You feel me? The shit was crazy.
You guys are still friends, though, right?
Oh, I mean, we family, man. Family comes first, man. Shit like that, man. That's just material stuff, man. We living and breathing, and man, you good. That's everything that can matter to me.
I love it. That's awesome. Hey, Marcus, really, really appreciate your time, man. Love watching you play. Continued success and good luck this next year, man.
Man, thank you. Appreciate that, big dog.
All right, Marcus Peters, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. I didn't know about the burning Marshawn's house.
Yeah. No idea.
Partway down.
Burnt down?
Yeah.
So what year would that have been, you think? Probably 7 years ago, maybe?
He's a senior, you said, right?
Yeah. He's been in the league 6 years. Doesn't really matter.
Since 2017, so.
Okay, well.
Okay, a couple years. That's when the story came.
Not 6, not 7 ago. As far as my math goes, it's not 7 years ago. Wow, okay. Man, guys that are ball hawks like him, they intrigue me. Like I told you, I played with Charles Woodson, that guy. But Marcus, like 31 picks. Has he only played 6 seasons so far?
2015.
And when he got traded to the Ravens, his first game, he had a pick six on Ross. Like, he played the Rams after he got traded. They beat them 45-6. He had a pick. Remember, he got into it with Ramsey at the end of
in
the
the
game.
tunnel. Remember, they were trying to meet up in the tunnel, weren't they? I love that.
He's so good, man.
He is. And he's not – I mean, that's the thing, though. If you're playing corner, you're putting on an island every single play. Yeah. If you're not crazy confident in yourself, like good luck. Good luck stopping number one receivers every single week. I'd say all the time, quarterback position is the number one spot where, hey, like confidence is huge. You have to have confidence. I think number 2 behind that, corner. Safety, you can hide other places a little bit, but you can't hide if you're a corner, man. Like, Connor, what'd you play in high school?
I spent some time at corner, but I mostly played linebacker.
Jumping routes? Jumping those routes up there in New England?
Dude, you just read the quarterbacks.
All that film study, right? All your film study.
I was, eating dinner, you're watching film on my iPad. You know how it is, just like quarterbacks in the NFL.
Just grinding. You're just grinding away. What was your high school called?
Buckingham, Brown, and Nichols.
And didn't you play in some like highfalutin, like all boys school league?
Well, I don't know what falutin means, but yes, we did play in the independent school league. It wasn't all boys. There were some public school, private schools, if you will.
Oh, man. Gumpy, what about you in Canada?
No football in our high schools till after I graduated.
So what, did you play hockey?
Soccer. Massive soccer. Soccer's huge back home.
Where are you at? What part are you from again?
Victoria, British Columbia.
Yeah, of course. Know exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Well, it's
right by Seattle. You can
nice.
take a ferry from downtown where I live to downtown Seattle. It's like 2 hours and 45 minutes.
It's like Detroit and Windsor, Canada.
Exactly.
Bingo.
Different Canada though. You're from like a very
from fucking
warmer
Orange
climate.
County.
Yeah.
It's like
nice.
it's like beaches and sun.
Really?
Does everyone speak English up there?
Yeah.
What do you think they
Well,
speak?
I'm talking
They speak French.
French Canadians.
There's-
The French Canadians.
Close to Quebec over there.
Quebec, yeah.
I know. I'm saying I assume it's English where he's at. Connor.
Well, fair.
Sorry, you know everything about it. You're a geography master too.
That's right.
No, but it was mostly soccer and baseball were huge back home.
Yeah. Canada's a good spot. I don't know if I've ever been to your hometown, but I've been around there.
You like Canada?
Love Canada.
Spend some time
in Windsor when I was 19. Of
course.
Well, before you're
Nice.
21, you got to go to Windsor and watch these beers. They're high alcohol content and emulsions.
Yeah.
Triple
Relax,
X.
baby.
As I'm trying to find a $1.50 blackjack table to play because you can't, I was in college. You're trying to go figure it out, man. It was
So in
fun.
Calgary, it's 18 too. It's even younger. Yeah.
I like it. Hey, you know what?
Montreal.
We're going to try to get to some calls here because I know we had a lot of people that have been waiting. You know what? Man, sorry, let's check out Rob in the Bay Area.
Bob in the Bay.
What's up, Rob?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, great, buddy. What do you got going on?
Man, I'm just enjoying this beautiful day. I feel very blessed, of course, to be in California. Shout out to everybody dealing with the weather out in Texas and the east and the north. You guys are facing off with some crazy winter storm, so I'm keeping you guys in my prayers and thoughts.
Shout out.
Hey. Thank you.
I wanted to say I'd like to apologize and shout out Gump, Evan, and CFO Phil. I had shouted out the whole gang a few months back, and I didn't mention their name. That was wrong of me. You guys are very important to the brand, so shout out to you guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Sorry about that.
It's all good, man.
My question was for you, AJ.
Shout out.
I had a question. What's the most adversity you faced in life, on or off the field, and how did you overcome it?
Thank you, Bob.
Documentary, dude.
I appreciate the call. I did not read what he had on the docket when I said his name. The most advice, I mean, come on now. There's people that have had crazy adversity, deaths in their family, all kinds of situations, I just listened to Francis Ngannou, an MMA fighter, talk about growing up and working the sand mines and coming over. I didn't have to deal with anything like that. I don't know, man. I've been very lucky off the field. On the field, my senior year, my first game, my senior year in high school, I was a punter too. I was faking a punt, planted my foot at the first down marker, and dude chopped my knee, blasted my PCL out of there. I tried to play the next game, didn't go too well.
Fucking Booby Miles.
Ended up getting some surgery after that, and then didn't know if Ohio State was going to pull my scholarship. So in the moment, yeah, that was adversity for me. I felt like, I don't know. And then I came back and played the last 2 games my senior year in high school and was able to still go to Ohio State. But I thought that was some huge adversity at the time. It was good, though. Ultimately, it helped me learn how to take care of my body and take care of my knee. What about you, Zeke?
Did I see Penn State was looking at you for a little bit?
For a second, yeah.
Who'd you meet with?
Oh, man, who did I meet? Who was Jay Paterno was there at the time.
Yeah. Nice.
Joe Paterno, I saw him. I don't know if he knew he was recruiting me at all, but
Joe
he was
knew.
there. Jay was there.
Nebraska.
I don't know if he knew I was even on the trip. Joe was a legend at the time.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's pretty much all that I had met with over there.
Ohio State, Penn State tonight.
Here we go. Oh, really?
Oh,
Big matchup.
Basketball.
Ohio State minus
I know.
4.5.
You
Good
know.
team this year.
They are a good team.
Very good.
The coach.
Yeah.
Holtman, right? What's his name?
Sure.
Chris.
Big time booster.
He's actually a very good coach. I know that much. Z, what are you alluding to?
What do you mean? No, I was just wondering. I was looking at your Wikipedia right now.
Oh gosh.
What
You know
about the
he's talking
national
about.
championship when you were down, AJ? Maurice Claret.
Were we down?
Did Maurice
Yeah, we were
Claret make
down.
that tackle?
Remember when Maurice Claret?
That was fucking
Sean Taylor
lit.
gets a pick. Sean Taylor's returned the pick. Oh, Maurice says, nope, that's mine, and rips it from him in one of the biggest plays ever, I would imagine, in the national championship game. And people get so mad and say we didn't deserve to win and blah, whatever.
Why you didn't?
It's questionable flag.
Yeah,
I mean,
if it's a questionable call, then my only thing is, like, I don't care about arguing about it, but we shouldn't have been there. If we were supposed to get blown out. I was only a freshman. I didn't do anything really. Special teams and a couple plays on defense. We had some absolute monsters that were upperclassmen, and Maurice Claret, that was a true freshman at that time. But we shouldn't have been in the game. It should never have been that close, was my question. If you want to say, hey, it was a bad call, all right, well, then you guys should have beat us by 30.
Well, you had to come in and play, right? Didn't the guy ahead of you get hurt or something? Then you had to
Not
play
in that
most of the
game.
game.
No, not in that game. Mangold. That happened to Nick.
Oh, okay.
Mangold's played the whole national championship as a true freshman.
Did you ever deal with the guy who suspended Claret? Did you ever any run-ins with him?
What do you mean?
Well,
Who?
there was like the head DA or whatever.
Andy Geiger was the AD at the time.
Yeah.
He was gone shortly after that. Yeah, I mean, I saw him, talked to him. I wasn't in any trouble at the time, but yeah, he was. It was a weird time because Maurice and I came in the same class. Maurice was like player of the year in the country, I think, out of high school. Was already a stud. His first game ever. The whole place, 110,000 people chanting his name. I was like, man, this is pretty sweet. This is pretty amazing. And yeah, he had a heck of a year and a half about. And then I don't know what happened. Honestly, it's crazy to think about. Troy Smith was in that class too. Troy redshirted. A lot of great players. Santonio Holmes, whatever.
How
It's not an
tight
Ohio
are
State
you
show.
with Craig Krenzel still?
Pretty good. Why? Craig actually lives like a minute from me.
I was just curious.
He's got some kids that are stud baseball and basketball players.
Really?
Smart. My one son Craig might coach him soon.
Really?
Craig coaches
Okay.
everything. Craig's like he's like you. He's like a whiz kid super genius.
Former, Bears quarterback.
Yeah.
Bear
Got to win. Was it a Monday night game?
I
Craig got
think
to win
so,
back
yeah.
in the day.
I was a huge Craig
Were
Krenzel
you?
fan. Oh, yeah.
So was I. Craig's 2 years older than me. So my freshman year, he was a junior. We won the national championship. My second year, we had a chance to get back. We got beat by Michigan the last game of this regular season. They were really good. But Craig, man, talk about, like, I was 18 years old. I'm coming in. I knew of Craig, and I see him dealing with him. Like, this guy, he doesn't think or speak or do anything like anyone I've ever met. Like, he was so weirdly intellectual and, like, just real smart. And I don't know. He ran things. He was a good leader, man. I appreciate Craig.
Do you still hate Michigan with all your soul?
Sure. I mean, I can say, so people in Ohio don't say Michigan. People don't say Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah. Well,
Can't believe you said Michigan a second
I'm
ago.
grandfathered in. Coach Tressel said Michigan. He was my coach. And Urban, I love Urban too, but Urban started that whole thing. And they cross off the M's. I'm like, I'm sorry. It happens all the time in Ohio. People, oh my God, oh, you said Michigan.
It's like a Voldemort.
Give General Bob a heart attack.
Luckily, Bob says Michigan because Bob's grandfathered in too. I understand what Urban was doing with that and why it happens. It's cool how it works. Sometimes I just think you're showing them too much respect by doing all
I mean,
that.
it's not a rivalry anymore.
No, they stink.
It was a rivalry when I was there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was 15 years ago.
20 years ago, maybe. I don't know.
Did you guys have the clock in the weight room when you were there too, or no?
I think we did have the Michigan clock, yeah. Countdown to the next time, because it was still a big deal with Coach Tressel. We did all kinds of stuff for it. It just wasn't, I guess the whole saying their name wasn't involved back then. That's something Urban brought. Now Urban's down in Jacksonville. How do you think he's going to do?
Unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I mean, I don't know.
Schlegs.
They're gonna
Got Schlegs is the strength coach.
If they get Trevor Lawrence, I mean, we're talking about Trevor Lawrence as being the next guy. I mean, if he turns out to be half of what everyone expects him to be.
I'm worried about Trevor Lawrence, just the expectations placed on him.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Justin Herbert. He comes in, tears it up. Rookie of the year offensive, right? Where people didn't have crazy expectations for him. He gets, Tyrod Taylor gets stabbed in the lung. He gets thrust in the lineup, plays great, and then continues to play great, which is very impressive. But their expectations weren't there. With Herbert, I guess it's kind of like a Joe Burrow type thing. He had high expectations, and Joe still played very well for a team that wasn't that great. And Jacksonville, they may be, we'll see how they do. I don't know. Like, okay, where's old buddy, old mullet boy? He's
Minshew?
Minshew. Ooh. He's still there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is Minshew going to take the majority of the reps in camp if Trevor's still coming back from that non-throwing shoulder injury? Like, what are we going to do?
No, I mean, Minshew is an afterthought. He had a great run down there.
Someone should pick him up
mustaches
then, though. Wouldn't the team needs a transition guy? Like, wouldn't he be a good guy? Like a stopgap for a year?
The Sky Cam. Yeah, he would be. I would love New England to have Minshew. Oh, sell some tickets, You
know what? We know Bill really vibed with Cam's like personality, and people didn't think that could happen with Minshew and everything he has. I think Bill would vibe with that.
Absolutely. Hey, he beat the Colts in week 1. Why not?
Yeah.
Who says no?
Hey, what time is the hard out, man, Surrey? 56. We're going to get out of here. You know what? You know what's awesome, though? So tomorrow, guys, I don't think you have to come in here.
Really?
I think you guys get to stay home because Linda Cohn is doing this show.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Linda! We love Linda. I've been on Linda's radio show when she does a lot of radio. She's great. And she's with Jeff Schwartz, I believe, who is also great. Right. Worked with him as well. He's awesome. Brother plays for the Chiefs. Good family. It's going to be a great show. But the Pat McAfee show will be led by Linda Cohn tomorrow. On Monday, Pat will be back. The boys will be back. Which one of you is taking your break?
I will be gone.
Ty will be gone.
Yep.
So Ty will be gone. We will miss you, Ty. I'll be back from Ohio. But thank you very much. Appreciate everybody watching. All the YouTube. Mad Dog will be coming up next. He is a legend. This is the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk.
Nailed it.
Crushed it.
That's it. Now we're on YouTube, Connor. You know that?
Oh,
Just
is that
on
right?
YouTube.
Oh. Is that
You
how
feel
that
like
works?
a big weight? You feel a weight lifted off your shoulders?
No, I like to put on more for the YouTube than anything.
Look at that
Catch. I mean, it doesn't even matter.
Look at you.
Hey, that's what I was talking about in the film room. Always reading the corner, the quarterbacks. Reading the quarterback's eyes. So
I would love to see Connor in like a bend his knees in a little soft back pedal, reading the QB.
Oh, have you never seen the video, the AJ Dillon video?
I did see a little bit of it.
Okay.
Do you have it? Can we pop
I
it
don't
up
think
if
we
I
have
get
it
to a
in
caller?
there, but
I don't think we do. I had like one pick in high school. It's against like the worst quarterback in the history of high school football.
Wait, did you make a highlight film?
Yeah, I made a highlight film. I was trying to go to the league,
Wait,
dude.
You made it?
What?
Did you make it yourself?
Yeah, on Huddle. It was easy to make highlight films when I was in high school. Yeah.
Huddle. Yeah, it's different now because all these kids. If you go to any high school kid's Twitter account, their first like pinned thing is their highlights
Huddle.
for that year, right?
Yeah.
Is that weird? Like, do they have to do that?
I mean, I guess a ton of recruiting
exposure
on Twitter and social media now. So yeah.
What was yours on VHS?
I don't even know if they had VHS back then. Probably. No, I didn't have a highlight film. Come on now.
Yeah, you're the number one recruit in high school.
Mr. Ohio.
Yeah, you don't need to.
I wasn't a big
himself.
recruit. No, I wasn't a big recruit by any means. But yeah, guys made highlight films on VHS like their dads made it for them. I think that's what it was.
So if you weren't a big recruit, when did you start taking juice to become the 5 overall pick?
It's so funny. People always ask us that at the combine. I think I've told you. I was like 248. General Bob Carpenter was like 256, and Schlegels was like 254. Just big dudes at the combine. The NFL was a little different back then. I'm like, well, I don't think neither of these guys aren't juicing. I know I'm not because I'd look a lot better if I was. And yeah, I don't know, man. We did have an extensive weight program at Ohio State, and we enjoyed working out together. Ask Vrabes. Vrabel used to come back and run with us and stuff.
Really?
Vrabes is absolute freak. It looks like a basketball player. His body, big, long, rangy, crazy athletic, can play any sport and be very good at it, but would just run everybody to death. He would run us in the dirt. He doesn't need to sleep. He doesn't need anything. Just roll on out. Oh, hey, we got 20 half-gassers today, Vrabes. All right, cool. He's like, I'm running 30. You getting in just talking to us the whole time, telling us how terrible we are, how we could have never played when he played.
Did you guys have like nutritionists and stuff when you were there, or were you just eating pizza and wings every night?
They didn't really have a whole lot of it. We had like what training table they called it when they would give us food, but it wasn't like good. It was with all the other sports. It wasn't like football specific.
Yeah.
So you had to. I mean, I learned how to eat decent when I was in high school. So yeah, but no, guys, we had you guys probably don't remember. They had old school Gatorade shakes that were in these hard cans. And they were like 7,000 calories per can.
Delicious. Though.
Maybe that's why we were all 255 at the combine because we would just take pallets of them and take them to our dorm rooms. They were not good. I don't think they make them anymore. You're way too. How old are you, Connor?
I am 25.
Jeez, you are so young. I think we have some footage. Connor,
Thanks,
where are
dude.
you? What number?
45, putting that guy down right there.
Which one?
It's a little blurry. Look, he's going for 6. I had,
you knocked him out of bounds.
I had to. I mean, he was going to score a touchdown if I didn't.
Cleans it up.
Yeah, he bounces off.
He did break
safety,
15 tackles.
Look at you. Watch it. Like,
Look at
little
that.
attitude too. You
Most
looked at.
football
Great
time.
pursuit. It was a message-sending hit. I mean, we've had this conversation.
I mean, Oh, look at you. You did make him fly.
So to the third row.
Yeah,
There's some rocks down there you can't really see.
You can see the parent up top here wants him to throw the
Pissed.
flag
Oh,
real
yeah.
bad.
Oh, yeah.
Throw the fucking flag!
We got into it with some fans sometimes. It was what it was.
Wow. So, but at that point, was A.J. Dillon, he was committed to BC by then?
A.J. Dillon was like 12 years old in that in that clip. No, he was a freshman.
But did you know did you know he was a stud?
Yeah, he was already getting recruited by a bunch of schools and stuff.
And were you like the cool guy because you could buy everybody beer and stuff in high school because you were 22?
No, I actually wasn't even the oldest one on the team. We had a couple 25-year-olds. They were the ones who would go pick up the four locals before school and everything, you know.
What kind of high school did you go to?
The league that we were in, repeating like junior year, sophomore year, freshman year is like very, very common. So I wasn't the only one.
Why would you repeat? To be better at sports or for school?
Well, I was a big fat dumb stooge my freshman year, so I had like a 0.2 GPA, so I had to do prep school either way if I wanted to get into college. So everyone I taught you said, hey, if you can repeat your junior year, do that shit. So that's what I did.
It sounds about right.
Yeah, it was much better.
Good for you. It's all part of your path, Connor. You know what? Let's go to Pepe in Mexico. What does he got, man? Sorry, Pepe, what's happening, man?
Órale, cabrones. Happy Thursday and overreaction for old Colts fans. How are you, AJ?
Oh, I'm doing great, Pepe. Appreciate you supporting the show, man, especially when I'm here. What's happening, man? What's on your mind?
Hey, first of all, congratulations on sitting in for Pat today. Do you know that you just became the Fitz Magic for the show?
Did
you
I?
You came in the fourth quarter and delivered, so you're the Fitz Magic for the show host.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's a great compliment. Thank you, Pepe. I will take it.
Hey, man, just with the overreaction, with Wentz coming for the Colts, are we thinking on a comeback player of the year behind the O-line and the QB whisperer that Frank Reich is? What do you think of it?
I didn't hear him. What do you?
Comeback player of the year is what he's thinking.
For Wentz?
MVP. Yeah. What are we talking about?
I mean, who else would be up for comeback player of the year? Von Miller's coming off an injury.
Can you win comeback player if you just get benched because you fucking stunk?
Is that how it works?
I don't know.
No. How does it? Do you have to come from injury or maybe leukemia or something?
Doesn't it usually happen like that? I mean,
yeah. Yeah, you can't. I guess they don't have comeback players, do they? If you just this guy. His team benched him. They didn't think he was good.
Well, yeah, and they're probably got to assume Dak Prescott's going to win comeback player of the year.
Well, you would think. Von Miller's going to be up for it too, though.
Absolutely.
Who else is coming back?
OBJ.
Oh, you're right. There's a lot of big-time names. Saquon Barkley. Man, it's going to be a tough one. That might be bigger than the MVP this coming year.
Comeback player does cover poor performance.
Oh, it does.
Yes.
So just improvement.
Yes, yeah.
I don't.
Trubisky then.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Patriots.
Why not Mitch?
How many wins no, Mitch has some wins under his belt.
Yeah. He was undefeated at one point.
Wins isn't a QB stat.
So the Steelers. Yeah, it
should be.
It is, Ty.
I know.
It is his QB stat, Ty. You know that. Hey, Matt in Indianapolis, man. Sorry, let's see what Matt's got going on. Matt, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? What's up, AJ and the boys? How you doing today?
Oh, we're doing great. How are you?
Hey, this is one heck of a day to be Matt Wentz here in Indianapolis.
Oh, that's his real last name, I'm guessing.
Your last name
That
is
is my
Wentz?
real last name, and it is spelled exactly the same.
Are you related to him?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so
You are.
yeah, and I'm a big-time Colts fan, long-time season ticket holder, and I tell you what, I'm outside shoveling my driveway from all this damn snow, and my phone is just blowing up. I'm trying to listen to a podcast before I come in and watch a YouTube of your show, and I don't get this many text messages on my birthday.
Wow.
Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, Matt.
Happy birthday, Carson.
Dynamite call, Matt. Appreciate you. Hey, Brendan in Dayton, Ohio. I hope that is. What's happening, Brendan? You've been waiting for a while, I think.
Hey, AJ. Yep, this is Brendan from Dayton. Appreciate you making the trek over from Flavortown. Quick question for you. Is the TB12 method going to be the new strength conditioning method moving forward with his success, or are guys still going to be eating weights like Bob Spokane?
I think it's safe that people will still be eating weights forever until the game of football is not played anymore. But Tom Brady even says, though, he doesn't really lift weights, does he? It's more about pliability and
body weight stuff.
doing all of that stuff.
Avocado ice cream.
Yeah, obviously a different position. That it depends which position you play, but every position can benefit from good old weights. I mean, Zito benefits from weights. We can tell. Look how jacked you are. Connor,
I just weighed at 290 the other day.
Gump. Everybody in the back room, all the boys are all jacked. Because I walked in, I see these squat racks that be getting used a lot. There's chalk, there's chalk remnants all over because you got to chalk
That's
the hands
not
up when you dip. Also, this smart water, earlier in the show, this smart water has the weirdest stains all over the bottom of it. I don't know if people can see this brown.
What'd you do to it?
What I do, I took it out of the fridge that's been living here for years.
Yeah, we might have a little rusty water in there.
Is that what it is?
It gets a little leaky.
I'll take it.
It's grit.
It's good, yeah.
It's grit.
If it's rusty water, I'll take it. I thought it was something
water
else.
inside's not rusty.
No, I know. Okay, hey, Ben in Fort Wayne. What do you got, Ben?
Yo, what up, AJ? Thought I was going to turn a skeleton wait for you to pick up my call.
My bad,
first
bud.
day on the set, man?
What'd you say?
Dude?
How was the first day on the set, man? Getting in Pat's seat, how was it?
It's good. His seat is, I don't know how he sits on this thing. I'm almost fallen off like 6 times. But, yeah, it's good. I sat in about a year ago, right before COVID. I sat in for a full week. I think Pat went to Hawaii or somewhere.
Yep.
That sounds right.
And I got to sit in. That was good. I'm glad I got to do that because I could sit in. And obviously, like today, I've been looking at the right camera every time, whenever I need to. Dial it in. Getting the breaks, dialed in on that. Ty Dillon, I think I did a great job. Introducing him in the Xfinity series he is on. I stumbled to break multiple times. So, yeah, everything's going well. I'm having a good time, man. It's fun. Now I get to make the trek back to Flavortown here in a little bit. It's going to be fun. How do you guys like it without Pat? It's going to be weird for you guys.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Besides all the stickiness you left on his table.
Oh, stickiness.
I mean, the only difference really is you just mangling the mic.
How do you not knock everything off of this table every single day of your life? Like I've got there's a bat on the ground, there's a gun on the ground. I can't not drop or spill it just because
it's all strategically planned out.
It is not.
Oh yeah.
What are these pages then?
That's every single paper of every show. Yeah. Since we started here.
What are we saving it for?
Callbacks.
Yeah. One day we're just gonna go and pull one out and be like, oh,
This is what we were
happened.
talking about on this day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like encyclopedia, you might call it.
There's video footage of all that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Also
it's not.
paper.
Yeah, the paper.
And if we ever lose the video, we could redo the show. Buy the sheet.
Boom.
How about that?
Kevin in Texas, what's happening, bud?
Hey, man, I just want to say thanks for y'all's T&Ps out here. Y'all have gotten me through this 5 days of horrible winter weather. And I just want to say, man, thank y'all so much. It's just been great. And AJ, you've done a great job today. And, hey, buddy, I hope you drive home safe today.
Thank you very much. Hey, Texas is no joke right now, man. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Like, think how cold it is right now, and think of not having any heat for a week, 2 weeks.
Have you seen what
how
hotels
long it's
have been
going to
doing?
go? No.
Y'all,
They're
I had
raising
to
the price like
evacuate my
$700 a
apartment.
night.
No, that should be illegal. Isn't that
Like,
illegal?
I had to leave.
Price
luckily, I went to my mom's house. She's had power the whole time. But dude, this shit. I mean, there's snow up to my ankles, dude. And hey, tell you what, I was supposed to go into work today, but you know what I'm
2
doing
inches.
right now?
It's Texas though.
Cracking a beer.
Well, hey, are they able to, Kevin, can they remove any of the snow? I know when I was in Texas and it snowed, they didn't know how to remove it. They didn't have plows or salt.
Dude, no, there's been nothing, like no effort whatsoever to remove the snow.
Well, if you don't have trucks or salt, what are you going to do? Just go try to blow it away?
Shovel. Pee on it.
Get your shovels out.
Get your shovel out in the highways.
That's
Real
right.
small highways. There's only like 36-lane highways in Texas.
Well,
in
you
most
duct
places.
tape it on there, and you got one guy just going up and down.
Look
Get
like
the
me on
TV
my
boxes.
lawnmower. Like me on my John Deere trying to plow my driveway. That's honestly, this morning I had to leave early. If I did not leave to come here, we only got a couple inches in Ohio, but I was going to have to jump back on the John Deere and plow the driveway. Maybe tonight when I get home. Seth, South Dakota. Uh-oh, NASCAR question. What's up, Seth?
Oh, you missed him.
Hey, quick question for you. Do we think that the sports betting world is going to add hammer throwing in the bet?
Ooh,
That'd be a good
little
bet.
prop bet.
I didn't hear that question either. What?
Will the sports betting world add a prop bet for one of the racers to throw a hammer at another one?
Because we learned today from Ty. He
Good
also,
callback.
Yeah.
Chucked a
Thank you
hammer.
for the callback. Did he? So he said he really threw a hammer at a car driving by?
I tried finding it, and I couldn't find the exact story, so it must have never been reported at
It
all.
sounds like he's kind of a bad boy a little bit. It
Yeah,
sounds like
he
he's
is,
ready
man.
to throw some fucking hands. I like that.
And you know what? I think if we juice him up enough on this show, especially you said he watches the show, right? So
Yeah.
let's make sure Pat knows that. Let's continue to juice Ty up, get his career going, and then he may be more likely to get into huge Donnybrook brawls after races.
I would love to see him just smack someone in the mouth. That's the best part of NASCAR.
What do you mean when he said like NASCAR kind of opened it up a couple of years ago? Meaning
Let
like
the boys be boys.
Yeah. So they don't get big suspensions or big fines, or
I
what?
guess.
We all know that's what when the camera's chasing a guy in an altercation going through pit road trying to just push people away to get to one guy and they throw weird punches at each other. Like that's why we watch.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Right?
If you got a qualm, settle it on the track.
Yeah, we don't care. Like I don't want to see
Wow.
wrecks. We all say like, hey, no.
That's not what we want.
You can't say that.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Come
That's not what we want to do.
Foxy,
Yo.
how you doing back there? I feel like I haven't talked to you.
Yeah, I've been letting you guys do your thing. You're doing a great job. Pat said he didn't want to ruin this show today, and I don't think we did that.
You know, I was trying to burn it down.
Yeah, you definitely tried, and I don't think you succeeded.
What? Probably wouldn't be smart for me, especially since on the show yesterday or 2 days ago I had mentioned like, hey, this is kind of my profession. Joining you guys at the end of the show. It's kind of what I do, and I love it. I'd really do. I appreciate it, man.
You did fry the motherboard of his computer when you knocked over that drink earlier, so I guess you kind of.
That was pretty good. Thank you for the drink, Gumpy. Gumpy told me about that drink.
Delicious.
You know what I've also, I'm not,
Fellini.
no free ad or whatever, but this stuff, Liquid Death. It's
Oh, so good.
I bought it kind of like that. That's going to be weird. And it's great. It's
very good.
I heard Bert Kreischer talk about it. He loves it too.
Ice
Did Bert sit
cold.
there?
Yeah.
I got sensitive teeth though, man. When it's that
Oh,
cold,
me too. Me too.
It's tough. I haven't chewed on my back teeth in probably 4 years. I got exposed nerves. Got like 6 root canals. Those didn't work.
What, you didn't wear a mouth guard? Is that why?
Come on, Connor. What do you think?
Jeez, dude.
Did you wear one?
Yeah,
They
wore
let
a
you wear
mouth
one in
guard.
that league?
What do you mean let me?
And when you're hitting dudes like you're hitting on the sideline, you need one.
Exactly. Well, I had the one that was hanging from the face mask.
Hell yeah.
Between every play, I'd have to get it out of there. You motherfucker! to the parents up in the stands. You know? Yeah, let them know.
Did you? Okay. Was it like a real? Was there a lot of animosity between the parents there? Like this is Boston area, right?
Yeah. All New England, really.
So was it like we would assume it would be? Like me not being from there, not living there, I could see like a lot of passion going back and forth, like parents yelling and fighting a lot.
Oh, parents, grandparents, kids. I mean,
Really?
everything. Yeah.
Well, I see my son's 7, 8 now, and he plays flag football. And first off, they've played a few teams. My son's team has practice like once a week, and they're good little athletes, whatever. They've played 3 different teams now that have flip-up wristbands with all their plays, with multiple sides on it. And the coaches are go crazy. The parents go crazy. I'm like, dude, these guys are 8 playing flag football, and people lose their mind. So I'm like, I got to prepare myself for once they even high school when people act like it's a Super Bowl every single play.
But do you think flag football is going to become more of like a recruiting tool? Like guys aren't going to play like, more like the real football, if you will, versus the
They're
flag?
starting later. They're definitely starting later. It's something that people ask me a lot. Like, oh, are you going to let your son, or when are you going to have your son play tackle? And I've always been like, I don't care. Like whenever he chooses, I'm not going to push him into it. But he's talking about he wants to play next year, and he's allowed. They have in 3rd grade you can start playing tackle. He wants to do it.
Okay.
I'm okay with him doing it. But yeah, I think guys are starting much later. Like there's flag leagues I've seen. Kids are in middle school, like 7th graders playing flag football. I'm like, well, do they play tackle football in the fall too? They're like, yeah, but this is just like what they do in the spring, and they play like this little flag league. It's weird.
I just found the hammer video. It was a sledgehammer.
Jeez. Can we pop it up?
I don't think we can because it's.
Can you point it in my direction?
Yeah.
Do you throw it at a car or at a human's head?
At a car. He was driving away.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, dude.
It comes in right there. It basically hit the side of the car.
Where was he throwing from?
I'm guessing he got out of the car and just went to the pit lane, and they were still in the pit lane there, and they just launched it.
I guess, yeah, what do you do? Like, you can't pick up a whole toolbox. It's too heavy. You got to pick up whatever you can.
Why is there sledgehammers in the side?
Iron out the dents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is that real?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that's
There you go.
there you go. That question I asked him, though, it's real. A NASCAR driver told me, like, people celebrate, and they win a race, and they drive around, do loop, 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 loop. Oh, I accidentally hit the wall in my celebration. It knocked off the little bit of whatever I did to adjust things to cheat. Yeah, whatever it did. Like, you can only have certain clearance. And I remember I've asked other NASCAR people, like, yeah, what do you think they do, those celebrations? They become a big thing. So I assume those will get shut down eventually, wouldn't they?
I don't know. I love the donuts after the race.
So do I. But if they're maybe actually they know about it and they don't care.
Grow the game.
Yes.
If these guys
just like juicing in baseball.
Exactly.
Bingo.
If they want to juice the cars up and go 270, let them do it.
How fast do they go?
He said 200 plus.
Yeah, 220.
270 seems fast. What's the fastest you ever been on a jet ski? Scary.
Never been on a jet ski, so 0 miles per hour.
I'm just telling you. Connor, whenever you do, I have a feeling you're going to really want to open that thing up.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the new jet skis that are fast,
Yeah.
they'll scare you to death.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do it.
Foxy, you been on a jet ski?
No, I'm not a big jet ski guy, but when you're on the water, 25, 30 miles an hour is very, very,
You go
very
night
fast.
boating, my friends.
Night boating.
Oh, yeah.
What's that mean?
Yeah, what's that mean?
Like Russian roulette on
You
the
you
water.
like jump in the back and wakeboard all at night or what?
No, we're just out for a rip with the boys, you know.
Oh, you boys are getting rinsed out there.
Oh, yeah, out on the lake.
Oh, wait, what do you do?
Just out for a rip. Have
For
some
a
drinks.
rip?
You
But
know.
does anyone jump off the boat?
I mean, some people go for a dip.
What body of water are you usually in?
Lake.
Which one?
Shawnigan Lake is the
Lake
closest
Victoria.
You know the one.
I know about that one. Connor, why you have a mustache right now?
Why not?
Good question. Good answer, I guess.
It's a good mustache.
Zito, you look good.
Thank you. I was just waiting at 290 pounds.
It's going for $3. Got to make it now.
AJ.
How tall are you?
What do you mean?
I thought he weighed like 225.
AJ.
I thought you were
That's a compliment. Thank you so much.
I legit thought Z weighed 225.
I'm like 6 foot.
yeah,
5'11".
I think you're 6'2".
Yeah. Give it a take.
You look good, man.
Thank you.
You got a 3-hour haircut down in Florida one time.
I did.
I was there.
You watched the
Were you
whole
guys
time.
over for that? I was on the porch. I think I legit had 5 cigars
Oh,
during
yeah.
one haircut for you.
You kept coming in saying, it's still going?
I kept turning around. I think Ty was saying, I was like, is Zeke still getting a haircut? And I remember, I was thinking about seeing if I could maybe, this guy could fit me in for a cut.
You did ask
But
him.
I think there was one or two people after you. I'm like, bro, I got to go to bed before 1 a.m. at some point, and this guy was still on you.
Oh, yeah.
It was a good cut.
AJ, how'd you do without smoking any cigars today, by the way?
It sucks. It's
Yeah,
terrible.
especially when
without
you have
them.
withdrawals, right?
No, I get bored and fidgety and got to knock things over. Like I texted Pat actually.
Yeah,
when
Claws
he,
get crazy.
Pat he FaceTimed me yesterday or whenever and asked, and I wasn't able to pick it up. And then he texted and asked if I could come do the show. No, I did not do that.
Cigars. I figured not being able to booze the whole time was going to affect you.
I'm just getting hammered from 2 to 3 every day on the
I
show.
figured it was more from 10 to 10 really every day, but yeah.
No, but it is weird. If I being on site, I would feel weird smoking here because I would have ashes landing all over and probably starting little mini fires because during our commercials I'd vacuum up my little area and stuff, and I wouldn't be able to do that here. And Pat, I said when he asked me, I said, "Can I smoke in the studio?" And he said, "Will it mess everything up?" And then I didn't respond because I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to you guys in here. I know nothing is ever inhaled or smoked
You
anywhere
technically
near
have
this
2
place.
vents above you.
Yeah. Do I?
Or those air conditioning vents.
Those are blowing air on me.
Yeah.
I don't think they're sucking air out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think the show's going to come to an end pretty soon. You guys are recording the pod?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have Hammer Down today?
No, hammer down today.
You sticking around for the pod?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, man.
Where do you record it?
Right here.
Right here? I might stick around for a little bit. Yeah. I might do a little. I don't think I'd stay for the whole thing, but maybe I would like to see it jump off.
Let's go.
Who's running the show today?
Mitt.
Yeah, Mitt.
Yeah.
Mitt's the host.
I'm in.
Let's
Where
go.
is Mitt? I complimented Mitt on his unbelievable hair earlier.
I mean, he's still a
He's got
child.
good look.
Still a child.
Oh, there he is. He's wobbling in.
Mitt, are you running the show tonight?
Yeah, Tone's not here, so we're gonna have to figure it out.
What is he, Beavis or Butthead? One of those two?
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Combined.
Do you know, does Mitt know what Beavis and Butthead are, who they are?
No.
No way.
Yeah, dude, all I do is watch cartoons.
Have you heard of them, really?
Yeah, I know who Beavis and Butthead are. Everybody responds to, like all my tweets with them.
Oh, well, they went off the air like 15 years ago. Didn't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
That was a long time. I mean, Connor, you're too young for that.
No,
All you guys are.
I was right on the edge of it.
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
All right. As Pat says, I think that's the show. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, all YouTube listeners, watchers, I guess. I didn't have his thing up, so I couldn't see anything of what was happening. I assume everything was okay.
Over 45,000.
Really?
Let's go.
Carson Wentz moves the needle, boys.
Carson does move the needle. That's right. Thank you to the Eagles and Colts for setting that up 10 minutes before I came on the show. There's not a whole lot to chat about before that. Also, our guests were awesome today,
Yep.
too. Adam Thielen, Ty Dillon.
Yep.
He's going to be the next big thing. And that's
Oh,
going
yeah.
You guys better watch out. And Marcus Peters was awesome. He was fun, honestly. I appreciated him, and I appreciate his game. It's fun to watch that dude play. He's got a great personality. Ultimate competitor, but That's the show. I appreciate you boys for helping me out.
Thank you, AJ.
I will see everybody on Monday. Hopefully Pat makes it back and enjoys his time down there. I know he's already upset at me. He sent me a clip of myself spilling stuff all over his desk. As far as I know, this computer still works, and I will make sure if it's working when I leave, then I am off the hook for that, and I will not be paying for any of this. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching the show. We'll be back on Monday.
Oh, yeah.